And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, social media, mainstream media, everywhere. There's a whole lot happening, and I don't know where to start. Of course, we have the New York City vaccine mandate kind of reversed, but not all the way. If you're an athlete, entertainer, performer, the mandate is reversed for you. But if you are a city worker who got fired back in February, you're not getting your job back. You're not getting your money back, but maybe you will. Also, gotta talk about MSNBC publishing a hit piece labeling fitness as somehow racist, or pardon me, elements of the new wave of fitness to happen under the pandemic being infiltrated by big bad racists. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Also, Tulsi Gabbard had a great, I guess you would say, debate with Sean Hannity of Fox News. Really good debate, because it's the same thing I've been telling you guys for a while now about this whole thing of Ukraine, and is it going to actually, are we going to be able to win that battle? Can we win that war? Not we, but can they do it? And should we be involved? We'll talk about that. Also, BNC, Black News Channel, going kaput, bankrupt, all of that good stuff in about 2 years of time. Who didn't see that coming? The writing was on the wall, but did you catch it? We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. If you enjoy what you heard thus far, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, I don't know what you're waiting on. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel right now. And check to see if you have been unsubscribed, because YouTube does play games like that occasionally. But go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed right now. Also, this is a podcast recorded live, and it'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platform at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. And that's going to be on Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, etc., Apple iTunes. The link for that will be in the box, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live, and I should pop right on up. Shout out to the sponsors, of course. Shout out to my website, ablmerch.com. That is ablmerch.com. Check it on out right now. We got hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more on the way. So bookmark that website. Go to the website, ablmerch.com. A lot of you guys always ask me where I get the flags from. The flags in the background, the beautiful handmade wooden flags that are right behind me. You can get those on bhedesigns.com. That is BHEDESIGNS.com. Check them out right now. You can get ones just like those, or something custom made just for yourself, whatever it is. Go to the website, tell them ABL sent you. Also, shout out to patriotpost.us, the best source of news and information anywhere on the internet. All these links will be in the description box below, or somewhere where there's information. If you're on a podcast platform, it should be some kind of box somewhere. Check it out right there, or just go straight to the website, patriotpost.us. And of course, shout out to my personal website, anthonyblogan.com. For each video I produce, I write an article with my sources, so nobody can say, oh man, you made that up. That's not true. Stop lying, ABL. Stop putting out fake news. I never put out fake news. And when things get fact checked over here, you know it's because it's true. Okay, the fact checkers are just opinion gatekeepers. That's all it is. You know, I'll post something that's factually true, like the whole Hunter Biden. Remember the whole Hunter Biden thing that came out? What was that, 2 years ago now, before the election, the laptop? We had a New York Post article. We put it on the internet, put it on Twitter, and people were getting banned and blocked and deleted for posting what we now know and what we then know as the truth. So, yeah, anything that gets fact checked from me and they try to say it's misleading or deceptive, trust me, nothing I say is a lie. If I give my opinion, I give my opinion. But when it comes to the facts, I'm solid. And you can always double check that on the website, anthonyblogan.com. Also, you can go to the contact page on my website, contact for anthonyblogan.com/contact. You can find my email, my snail mail, my social media accounts, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc. All that is on the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact. Now, we got a whole lot happening here. And shout out to y'all for being in the building. Of course, I read the chats whenever I can. I'll read super chats after I'm done with my little monologue in the beginning, as you guys always know. But let's talk about this whole thing of MS-13 DNC and fitness. Now, this was an opinion piece, just to be totally transparent. It's an opinion piece, so they're going to hide behind that. They're going to say, oh, well, we didn't really put it out as something that's fact. It's just an opinion from our writers, from our staff. It's all it is. But they play games with that because, they're putting it on their website. If they didn't want to stand behind it, it wouldn't be on their website. Like, they wouldn't publish anything that I write on their website. They would never, MSNBC would never put one of my articles on their website because what I talk about does not represent their brand. It's not it's not customer friendly. It's not sponsor friendly. It's not network friendly. It's none of those things. So I don't want them to hide behind this whole, oh, it's an opinion, it's opinion. Well, you put it on your website. That means that you are co-signing it because, again, if it was just about all opinions, being able to have a voice on a place like MSNBC, then they would do it. It wouldn't just be so one-sided like this, right? So here is the article in question. It says, pandemic fitness trends have gone extreme, literally. In the subhead, white supremacists' last scheme to valorize violence and hypermasculinity has gone digital. So do you see this clip right here? Okay, you got a dude, you got the guns out, sun's out, guns out, all that good stuff, right? He's flexing, and you have a bunch of Nazi guys doing a sick howl behind him, like a really old image. It's like a kind of a copper sepia type tone. I don't know if that's blood red sepia or whatever, but the symbolism is ridiculous. Basically, they're trying to say that there's a bunch of online fitness type groups, and they're using the lure of fitness to drag in a bunch of people to get them radicalized in far right extremism. Now, the problem is mostly fold. First of all, they're trying to attack fitness. Okay, they're trying to attack fitness, and also MMA, because they're talking about in this first line right here. It says it appears the far right has taken advantage of pandemic at home fitness trends to expand its decade-plus radicalization of physical martial arts, mixed martial arts, and combat sports spaces. So basically, they're trying to say that there's a bunch of white supremacists and racists and whatnot in MMA. And to me, that's a direct shot at Joe Rogan because they can't get Joe Rogan. The people are not going to cancel Joe Rogan. They tried to get him on the whole N-word thing. That didn't work. They tried to say he was a quack and he's pushing fake science when it comes to the bug. That didn't work. They can't do anything to attack Joe Rogan. So what they're trying to do now is delegitimize MMA because Joe Rogan is a very prominent ringside analyst and interviewer over at MMA with Dana White. So if they're able to subvert his message through attacking companies he's associated with, they'll do that. But I think the reference was too obscure for it to work, really, because people don't really care. If you're watching MMA, do you really care about what Cynthia Miller Idris says on MSNBC Opinion? I don't think so. You don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. I'm just reading it right now on the screen. I have no idea. If she came up to me in Hartsfield-Jackson Airport and slapped me upside the head, I would have no idea who it is. I would be like, ma'am, excuse me. I'm trying to get to my chicken sandwich. Y'all just get out my way, okay? Well, I wrote that article and I was offended. Okay, go over there and be offended, but don't do that over here. Just go over there. But I digress. The whole point is that nobody really cares about this kind of stuff, but the people, the powers that be, they read this kind of stuff. They read MSNBC. They read CNN. They read all these mainstream media outlets and they watch them on television. I heard Kamala Harris cite a TV report while she was out there on the podium. These people watch this stuff and they believe in it and they make laws and rules and regulations as a result of it. They become radicalized as a result of it. Even adults, when they read in MSNBC and all kind of other alphabet letter news organizations, they become radicalized. That's definitely part of what happens. So they go on to say that here was a funny part I wanted to show you guys. Let's go right here. It's a quick little sentence. Earlier this month, researchers reported that a network of, quote, online fascist fitness chat groups on the encrypted platform Telegram are recruiting and radicalizing young men with neo-Nazi and white supremacist extremist ideologies. So basically, they're saying that these fitness groups online are trying to recruit fascist members, racist members, from the apps. But see, the problem is that they cited a source for their quote unquote fascist fitness headline, right? And that takes you to something from The Guardian. And the headline of that article says, quote, fascist fitness, unquote, how the far right is recruiting with online gym groups. And then the subhead says, anti-fascist group Hope Not Hate says extremists will present self-improvement as part of their wider ideological struggle. Anti-fascist group Hope Not Hate. So they're quoting an Antifa group. That's what that stands for, anti-fascist. So Antifa, they're no problem. They're okay. That's a great segue into Antifa. You know what? I see many more people becoming indoctrinated and drugged into that ridiculous far left culture, the far left culture of and indoctrinating kids, the ridiculous outfits and crazy stuff in your face. I see more of that going on than anything else. I don't really see the other way around, trying to quote unquote brainwash people into becoming right wing. The brainwashing is happening from K through 12, college, and in your career field. People are being indoctrinated to hate white people. If you're a non-white, you're the victim. Hate yourself because you're a victim. They're training all that stuff. That's where you have true indoctrination. As I've said before, a lot of people that talk about indoctrination, they do it themselves. They're really into it, and they're extreme with it. And this is no different. It's no different because we've seen some of the walkouts. The Disney, the Don't Say Gay bill, there was a big walkout. So we already know what that is. They're trying to convince people that what they say about teaching little kids 5 years old about transgender issues is the right thing. They're trying to radicalize you that way. And they're trying to make it be some kind of civil rights thing. Talking about, oh, this is basic human right. How is it a basic human right to teach a 5-year-old about transgenderism? Why do they need to know about that? Why is that important for a little child to understand that particular concept? And you know what? Speaking on that note right there about the Don't Say Gay bill and the March walkout, what I was saying right when I saw that was, okay, you ever seen a rally for illegal aliens? And that's a bunch of Hispanic and Chinese people there. So it's probably a bunch of illegal aliens in the group. I say call the federales right now. Call them up, get them down here, and get these people. Round them up, take them back to where they're supposed to go, right? That's what you could do because they're going to be illegal aliens in that group. Same thing with the so-called Don't Say Gay bill walkout. The same thing with that. Who's going to be out there talking about, well, actually, you can teach little kids about weird sexual issues? Who's going to be out there? Hey, federales, you got some most wanted people. All right, they're right here at this rally. Come get them. And I guarantee you, if you go to the computer, it's going to be some weird stuff on there, and I'll leave it at that. I will leave it and park it right there. Back to the point. I think this article from MSNBC was published in a way to try and attack fitness. They're going to try to talk about that. The angle they have is there's been some groups that have been targeted or that they were targeted for infiltration. There have been some groups that go out here and engage in racist behavior. That's their angle. But really what's going on is, I think, MSNBC and a lot of the mainstream media are trying to denounce fitness, which is ridiculous because we got this bug going around, and we know what it does. If you are 1 million pounds, if you are the size of the moon, the sun, and the stars, in your bed in your room, if that's you, you are at very high risk of catching this thing and not making it. You're at very high risk, and everybody knows that. So what's the purpose in trying to say that fitness is bad? Is it because they realize that a lot of Americans aren't really in the best shape? There's a lot of obesity here, so they're trying to just pacify you. And the thing about it is, if you weigh a lot, it's nothing, you can come out of it. You know, there might be a medical issue. That's a different story. But if you're just a regular normie and you weigh a lot, you can come out of it. So, but the media kind of want to try to demoralize you by saying, hey, you know what? They're racist for telling you to get fit. Don't even look into it because they're racist over there. Don't listen to anything they got to say. And that's just not right. It's just not. So yeah, it's not okay to be 1 trillion pounds. It's not okay to be the size of a redwood oak in California. It ain't really that. Okay. And the way they call it redwood oaks, but it's not okay. Like, we got to be able to just move forward and do right by ourselves. If for nobody else, do right for yourself. Big up yourself. How they say, big up yourself. Do that. Do right for you. Don't be 1 trillion pounds on your bed. That's just what it is. So yeah, they're trying to say fitness is racist to make people feel good and say, you know what, I don't need that anyway. That's racist. They're going to pretty soon say, you know, poultry is racist. Meat is racist. Matter of fact, I think I did see that. I'm sure if I search right now, this is organic search. If I search right now, eating meat is racist, I guarantee you a result will come back. There it is right there instantly from 2007. Another one, 2015. Okay, here is, oh, wait a minute. Let me just find, here's one from PETA. The great people over at PETA, over there in Norfolk, right on the river with your big compound. Where's your sewage going? How about that? But anyway, this is I guess a blog post type of thing or a news report. Like a blog post on their website on PETA.org, pardon me. Are meat eaters more likely to be racist? It's nuts. Animal captivity is slavery. So you already know where we're going with this. I think they're trying to control what you eat by controlling your emotions because they know it's more difficult to control someone by rules alone. It's easier to control them when they think they're doing the right thing, when they think they have the right cause in their mind. It's easy to control them at that point because they live in a kind of a blissful state. They're not really understanding what's going on in the true sense. All right, that's kind of what that is. But we got a whole lot going on here, actually. So yeah, shout out to MSNBC. You know what I mean? Do some push-ups, pull-ups. It's not racist, I promise. It's not racist. And before I move to my next topic, it's funny how Ukraine is given the pass here. Let me back up a little bit. It's funny how MSNBC will attack so-called racists, invisible racists, Nazi white supremacists. She'll attack. It's funny how they'll attack all the racists and all that kind of stuff, but they won't talk about Ukraine and the racists there. They won't do that, you know, because there's plenty of racists there for sure. So hold on one second. Let me get to this right here. Here's the image that I wanted to show. Here is the image of, it's like a little comic strip right here. So check it out. You got the Azov battalion, right, in Ukraine. They are over there. And, you know, remember the whole thing about punching Nazi? Remember that whole thing that was going on a while back? And you had all these Antifa type guys talking about, hey, go punch a Nazi. That was the thing for a while, right? Now you got a guy right here with some kind of like Antifa scarf around his face or like under his face on his neck. He's getting ready to punch him. He's getting ready to go for it. And the guy in this Nazi regalia is with the armband, the Azov, the bolts. He's like, well, actually, I'm from Ukraine. And then that guy, rather than punching him, gives him a big hug, big bear hug. That's kind of what's going on here. This is because if you're talking about American fitness, that's you over there on the left. Get ready to punch the Nazi. But then when you're talking about Nazis in Ukraine, all of a sudden now, it's okay. It's so silly. But again, I think it's about them trying to attack fitness overall because there's too many people that weigh a whole lot. and they don't want to offend them. You know, the whole Lizzo thing, body positivity, which is ridiculous. You know, if you weigh a lot, you need to just tighten up for no other reason than your health. How you look or whatever, that's, you know, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. You know, I done seen some guys walking around with some ridiculous stuff on their arm. same with women. Okay, she was looking like a beauty queen, and it'll be a beast on her arm. Everybody has their own preference. That's not even the point. The point is about your health. You know, being fit is healthy. Being fit is cool, right? That's just what it is. And again, we got this bug floating around. Rather than getting that shot, rather than doing that, just tighten up, get some physical fitness. But I digress. Thank you all for being here yet again. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. So if you like what you heard so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Now, here's another one for you guys. So I'm gonna talk about the Black News Channel. The Black News Channel, they went ahead and shut down. You guys may not necessarily know about the channel, but the Black News Channel was started back in 2020 by a guy by the name of Shad Khan. Shad Khan owns the Jacksonville Jaguars, AEW Wrestling, and a few more things. He also owns this company called, I think it's called Flex and Gate, pardon me. I thought about Flex Seal, that thing where he has you could pretty much put that Flex Seal on anything. It'd be a hole in the atmosphere. He could put that on the ozone layer, but anyway. Flex and Gate is this company that he owns, and they make car bumpers. I mean, car bumpers for a lot of different cars all over the country, maybe even all over the world. Their revenue was $8.9 billion, with a B, $8.9 billion in 2020. $8.9 billion. So he is a billionaire, bona fide. He owns the Jaguars and a few more things. So he decided to go out on a venture and start a Black News channel. Now, from the start, I knew it wasn't going to work. I didn't even understand what was the point in them trying to do this. I think the only reason why it even got off the ground is because the billionaire had a bunch of money to play with. So, okay, I'll put some money into it and see if it works. It's not going to work. Not Shaka Khan, Santo Bartez, Shad, S-H-A-D, from Pakistan. So he's a Pakistani guy, not black at all. I'm not sure when he came to the States, if he came to as a young boy or as an immigrant later in life. I'm not really sure. But he is of Pakistani origin. Shad Khan owns the Jaguars. You know, minority owner and everything. You know, oh, it's not enough minority owners. Shad Khan, there you go. But anyway, so Shad Khan started the network to have Black anchors have a news station. And I guess the purpose was for them to talk about things from a quote unquote Black perspective. But really, I've seen BNC a few times. I know guys that have been on BNC, and it's mainstream media, basically. It's not really any different. It's just all the anchors are Black. And you've seen some of the anchors before. I've done videos on them. Charles Blow. You got to have the resident LGBT representative. You also have Mark Lamont Hill and Mike Hill, no relation. Mark Lamont Hill is a professor at Temple in Philadelphia. He's a network, I'll call him a network mercenary. You see him all the time on television on different stations just as a commentator. You know, just like talking head, same as me and my thing, but in a smaller box. Like when I go on RT or something like that, a smaller box. They'll do that. Mark Lamont Hill is a network mercenary, same as Charles Blow. Mike Hill had been on ESPN for a long time, and then he was on Fox Sports 1, and then he kind of hopped around from team to team like an NBA journeyman in the 10th year, you understand, trying to still hang on. So they all went to the Black News Channel. Now, I think out of all of them, Mike Hill was the strongest one, but the thing about news, the thing about any kind of news channel, anything like that where you got a show where people talk, you got to get a good pair. Local news, national news, niche news, whatever it is. If there's more than one person talking, you got to get a good pair and a good chemistry. And I think the chemistry between Mike Hill and the female co-host was kind of weird. Not in that kind of way. I'm talking about just she came off kind of dudeish. It's like, if it's like that, go ahead and get another male up there rather than trying to balance it. It was just kind of strange to me personally. The shows kind of sucked. It wasn't anything different or new. If it was a YouTube channel, they wouldn't get any views. The only reason why they were on TV is because Shad Khan had the money to put them on TV. Their rankings were like, the ratings were in the basement. They were dead last on all, out of all TV stations, they were like dead last. I think there might have been one more channel that was above them slightly, but could have been below or right around. Basically, if there was a first place prize for the worst rated channel, BNC will be right next to this obscure comedy channel. I'm not even sure what it was called. I have no idea. That's how bad it was. The terrible ratings. Nobody's watching that. Nobody wants to see that. Who wants to see a black-only news channel on TV? Now, you might want to see that on YouTube. Maybe. You might want to see that. But on TV, they would have done better trying to be like Roland Martin, where he does his show on YouTube and just get sponsors organically from people that you know. But on TV, don't nobody want to see that. And really, TV news is a dying format. You know what's going on nowadays? These very young people are going on TikTok to get their news. That's why they had those influencers in the White House. They had the meeting with Joe Biden and whatnot, because kids like teenagers or younger than that, or like early 20s sometimes, they're going on TikTok to see what's going on with the news. Okay, we got a war in Ukraine. Let me go to TikTok and search Ukraine war so I can figure out what's happening. Straight up. A dance video with Ukraine news. Okay, dance move, Ukraine bad. A Russia bad, Ukraine good. Boom, there you have it. That's the news. That's what they're doing. So in the face of that, in the face of mainstream media dying a slow death, what's the purpose in making something so niche and at the same time mainstream media? That's a double negative. Mainstream media, it's not a good time right now to get into mainstream media. The mainstream media has been around for like 200 years or more, are hanging on because it got name recognition. But if you're going to be a brand new mainstream media channel on television, I don't understand what you're doing. Who's going to watch that? Why would anybody watch BNC when they could just watch Fox Sports, when they could just watch, not Fox Sports, when they could just watch Fox News, when they could just watch CNN, when they could just watch some other more established network? That didn't make any sense, but they tried it. So they went bankrupt, and Mark Lamont Hill got really upset because apparently they had not been paid their final checks. So all this blackity black woke stuff, hey, black centered news, black folks working together, not even getting their checks. Threw them clean under the bus. But for a long time, it had been a sinking ship. They already cut hours. It's like, okay, when you see that kind of stuff happen, they're cutting hours, they're cutting back jobs, they low ratings, go ahead and just fall back, because it's not going to come back. It's not going to actually improve from there. You know what I mean? It's just not going to do it. So that's right, John Menard. Video killed the radio star, exactly. Video killed the radio star. These online apps, short form videos, the old school news, that's going away to dodo bird. It just ain't going to be the same. Yeah, shout out to Fox Sports, though. Of course, I was talking about Fox News, but I think Mike Hill was on Fox Sports. That's kind of why I'm thinking about that in my mind. So, yeah, they went ahead and went bankrupt, but no surprise there. It's unfortunate if people work there. You got hundreds of employees working remotely, working in the actual studio. That's unfortunate for them, but it is what it is. What are you going to do, right? And what else we got going on? Okay, let's talk about New York City reversing the vaccine mandate. Now, I called all this, but I forgot about one important issue. But first, okay, so New York City reversed the vaccine mandate for some people who work in New York City. For some, not all, just some. As of right now, if you're a New York City employee, like a city worker for the city, and you got fired in February, just last month, for not meeting the vaccine deadline, you have no job still. You have no back pay still. You're pretty much just out there floating. If you are just a regular employee that's not for this city or a business owner, then you're pretty much in the same boat as those who got fired, from what I'm able to read. Unless you are able to finagle some kind of crafty way to get around the regulations, like not living in the city for a while and then coming back, all that kind of stuff. If you could do something like that, then you'd be all right. But if you can't, then you're pretty much out of luck. Now, the athletes, entertainers, and performers are exempt. They're exempt from the rule as of Thursday of this week, if I'm not mistaken. So I called it because I'm like, okay, they're going to have to let the athletes go back to playing sports, namely Kyrie Irving, because that was a whole big thing. Kyrie Irving was not allowed to play NBA basketball in New York City, where his team, the Brooklyn Nets, play, but he was allowed eventually to play on the road. Here's what happened at first. At the very first part of the season, this season, there was a vaccine mandate for New York City workers. So if you are a basketball player for the New York Knicks or for the Brooklyn Nets, you had to be vaccinated. I think there was a vaccine mandate for anybody going into the Barclays Center or Madison Square Garden, where the Knicks and Nets play respectively. But as time progressed, a lot of those rules loosened. There was no longer a vaccine mandate for those coming into the building. It was never a vaccine mandate for the away team coming into New York to play basketball. Funny how that works. But all these mandates and restrictions were eventually kind of relaxed or lifted. But you still had to be vaccinated if you were the home team playing games. Again, New York Knicks, Madison Square Garden, Brooklyn Nets, Barclays Center in Brooklyn. But then just a couple days ago, they lifted that restriction only for athletes, entertainers, and performers. So if you got a Beyonce concert coming in and she might not be vaxxed, I'm sure she is, but let's say she's not vaxxed, then there won't be any kind of problems getting Beyonce in there on stage. Maybe even the sound crew, people like that, they're able to get in there and do what they got to do. So that seems unfair, ain't it? But see, check it out. Before we get to the unfairness, which it is unfair, to those who just regular normies working and city employees who've not gotten their job back, that's unfair, but check it out. Money's on the line. And I didn't think about all the ways that the money was going to be impacted until you guys told me in the comments. Thank y'all for keeping me on point. Now, my first reaction was, Kyrie Irving, you're playing for the Brooklyn Nets. Playoffs are almost upon us. Playoffs will be here April 16th on a Saturday. And today is March 26th. So you're talking about just a little bit of time, like 3 weeks or less. The playoffs will be here, NBA basketball playoffs. Now, I think you have 32 teams in the NBA, or 31 teams, 31 or 32 teams in the NBA. Now, the playoffs are going to be 8 teams from each conference, the East and the West. So 16 teams total. Now, the Brooklyn Nets, at the time of me doing the video, they were in 8th place in the East. And they were only 2 games out of 10th place, 1 game out of 9th place. So clearly, if they stay in the 8th place position, they're able to go to the playoffs. If they slip out of it, then they're out of the playoffs, which means no games in Barclays Center, and they could go deep into the playoffs because you got Kyrie Irving back. That's more firepower, superstar player. They could go all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, maybe even to the NBA Finals, perhaps, potentially. Who knows? But you have several rounds of the playoffs, and the rounds are best of 7. So it could be at like a bare minimum of 4 games, and there's tickets sold for each game, merchandise sold for each game, concessions, hotel stays, sales tax revenue in the city. There's a bunch of money to be made, and you don't want to miss that because of some ridiculous rule that ain't nobody following anyway. A lot of these guys got fake vax cards and fake doctors and all kind of stuff that gave them a pass to do what they're going to do. My man Aaron Rodgers won the MVP while being unvaxxed. So they're like, look, we got too much money on this, too much money on the line. Let's go ahead and just let them play the playoffs. And I caught that long before it happened. But guess what, though? There's also Major League Baseball opening day, April the 7th. A lot of these Dominican guys ain't getting no vax. However they say it in their language, no vax, I'm good. They're not going to do it. And what are you going to do? You have the New York Yankees, the pinnacle of baseball, and right in the heart of New York City, and you got the Mets. New York Mets, New York Yankees, probably a bunch of unvaxxed guys on both teams. Matter of fact, I saw somebody from a Major League Baseball team with a Let's Go Brandon shirt on during spring training. So you got to understand, the owner of the Mets also gave Eric Adams $1.5 million for his campaign, this recent mayoral campaign. So it's like, yo, check it out. Hey, man, I done gave you $1.5 million, and I want something back for that 1.5, right? I gave you this in good faith that you be able to come through for me when I need you. So you got the season coming up. We got 182 games or whatever it is in the Major League Baseball season. How many games in the season? I think it's like 170. It's a whole lot of games. How many games in the season? Okay, 162. Yeah, and then on top of that, playoffs and everything else, you got like 200 games in the season. So there's a lot of games you got to play, a lot of money to be made. We're selling tickets and merch and all that kind of stuff. We're going to play. We're going to play baseball, and you're going to let us. So opening day is almost upon us. They will play ball, point blank. We're going to have the stadium filled up. Anybody wearing no mask, anybody having no vax card, play ball. Opening day, MLB playoffs, is money involved. That's why regular normies don't have the ability to go to work without being unvaxxed. And of course, I also called that there's going to be lawsuits. Okay, because it's clearly unfair to those who just regular people, and they lost their jobs as a result of what the rule was from Eric Adams. Now, hold on one second. Let me go to let me see if I can find where I had the official story. And if you like what you're hearing so far, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. And we are going to get straight into it. Here it is. Here it is. Alrighty. So it says, hold on one second. Fired NYC workers want to sue Adams over athlete vaccine exemption. Lawyers. So they already got lawyers already ready to roll. They already lawyered up. Like, anybody could have called it. It's easy. That's why they didn't want to do it right away, because they knew they were going to get sued. But guess what? Check it out, though. You know the funny part? It's funny, but it's not funny. They're going to be able to afford the payout that they're going to pay, because they will pay out for sure. Lost wages, discrimination. They can afford to pay the payout because they got Major League Baseball coming back and NBA playoffs coming back to boost that tax revenue. Oh, yes, they do. Oh, yes, they do. Okay? Look, people protesting out there with signs. It's not even a political thing, left or right. You got black, white, Puerto Rican candy stripe out there. A little bit of everybody out there saying, hey, this is not right. Let's get our job back. Let's sue the mayor. All right? So I call all of that. But it's not like I'm some kind of sage or a rocket scientist. I just think about it a little bit. That's gonna be the rational decision. And as a matter of fact, I won't be surprised if some lawyers approached people who got fired and asked if they wanted to do it. Gave them a suggestion. It's like, hey, you know what? This isn't right. You have a good case here. Let's bring it to court and see what we can do. If that happened, I won't be surprised at all, because it didn't make sense. Totally. So yeah, shout out to anybody in New York City. God bless you. I know it's hard up there as far as the ridiculous political climate and some of the other violence and chaos going on. Same thing for Los Angeles. Hey, prayers out to you guys. If you need some bulletproof vests, I don't got one, but hopefully you get one. Hopefully you get an angel donor to get you a bulletproof vest and some body armor. But I move right along. So yeah, we got the Major League Baseball season coming up, NBA playoffs coming up, and ain't gonna be no vex. Ain't gonna be none of that happening. These guys, these Dominican guys, they no English, no vaccine, huh? No vaccine. All right, but let's go to some more here. And what else I got going on? Tulsi Gabbard versus Sean Hannity. Now, this one, this was crazy because it was good, but at the same time crazy, because this is what I've been saying for a long time when it comes to Ukraine. An unwinnable war. Unwinnable. Like, what are we going to do to actually be able to succeed in this? How can we help them actually win? Really? A nuclear power? They've not even really shown what they can do all the way. If there's any kind of intervention from us, like boots on the ground, all that kind of stuff, now we got a conflict that's going to involve multiple countries. It wouldn't be Russia by themselves against the whole world. I bet you it wouldn't. China would be on Russia's side. India would be on Russia's side. Like, it'd be surprising what would happen. There was just going to be a world war. It wouldn't be everybody against Russia. So we should do everything we can to avoid that kind of confrontation, meaning trying to fight them. We don't want to do that at all. Not directly. Now, if you want to give humanitarian aid and stuff like that, I guess, but having 100,000 refugees come over here, why do we need to have Ukrainian refugees over in America? I don't understand. I mean, is it not enough? Okay, before I get to the whole thing that I was going to get to about Tulsi Gabbard versus Sean Hannity, we're taking in 111,000 Ukrainians here in America. So they took in like 2 million in Poland. So was 2,100,000 a bridge too far? You see what I'm saying? It's like, why? I don't see. Is there a capacity limit? It's okay, we got 2 million, so 100,000 more is just way too much, man. We don't have enough resources. I don't get it. I don't understand. It's just so weird. It's ridiculous. This whole thing is dumb. We shouldn't even really be involved. Ukraine and Russia, let them handle that. Let them handle it. That's not really our concern. It's just not. And if you want to go over there and try to help them, meaning Ukraine, are we going to help Yemen against Saudi Arabia? Are we going to help the Uyghurs against Xi Jinping? How about the Taiwanese when they take that against Xi Jinping? Are we going to help those in Eritrea, Djibouti, Somalia, Libya? Are we going to help that or nah? Or just Ukraine because of the media amping this up, having a campaign against Vladimir Putin? I'm seeing guys every single day go on TV talking about, I'm leaving America to fight Putin. To not to help the Ukrainians, not to fight against the Russian Federation. I'm going to fight Putin himself. Ridiculous. This is the mentality that has gripped a lot of people. They've been gripped by it, and it's crazy. So let me get to I gotta find that video I had of Hannity. Oh, there we go. Here we go. Shout out to Wayne Dupree for the video, for the clip. Let's go ahead and put this up right here. All right, let's get some sound. How about that? Let's do a little bit of sound.
Not answering. Should we give them the weapons to win the war? If they're doing a great job, everybody acknowledges that. Should we give them all, and Europe too, give them the weapons if they're willing to fight for their country?
They can't win this war, Sean. This is the real world that we live in. It is not, it's not strategically possible to think that Ukraine is going to beat Russia. If you look at it, and then so it also is the question, what does winning look like?
You fear Vladimir Putin. You're saying you fear Vladimir Putin would use a nuke. If he uses a nuke, the radiation fallout will impact NATO countries. That triggers Article 5. Do you believe in Article 5 of the NATO agreement?
I think that I think the most responsible thing that our leaders, the United States, leaders of NATO, Ukraine, and Russia need to do right now is look at what the reality is that we are facing on the ground and the reality that the world is facing, and come together to be able to negotiate an outcome to this.
Okay, Putin doesn't want to negotiate. Clearly doesn't want to negotiate. There's been many attempts at negotiation. So when you see images of dead women and children,
I'm not aware of
and when you see
Zelensky
neighborhoods
sitting down
blown
with
out,
Putin yet.
hang on, you do not think we should provide them the weapons to defend themselves? I just want to know yes or no.
You're missing my point here, Sean, which is we've got to know what we're trying to accomplish, which is an end to this war. It is cruel to make the Ukrainian people believe that somehow they are going to win this war by prolonging it. And that's what you're talking about here. It would prolong this war, prolong the suffering, and end up causing more lives lost in the end.
If Vladimir Putin wanted to negotiate, he would have done it a long time ago. He's not willing to. And if he wants to use chemical.
Exactly. I mean, not as far as what Hannity said at the end, but from Tulsi Gabbard, what she said was right on point. It's like, look, you're prolonging the war. You can give them all types of munitions and aid and all these things, but all you're really going to do is prolong it. You're not going to conclude it. That's the whole thing. Russia is now going to the western part of Ukraine, try and take that too. You're prolonging the war, and it's cruel to make them think they can win it, to make them think they can win it, and the Westerners are going over there, quote unquote, helping. I thought there was like 20,000 volunteers that have gone to Ukraine. What are you really going to accomplish? You're a volunteer. You're going over there with a rifle or a handgun or just by yourself. Do you have an army with you? Do you have an air force? Like, imagine going over there with a rifle talking about, I'm a help, or with no weaponry, and you get drone striked. I just don't really understand that logic. It's like there's no brain power. When people get caught up in emotion and how they feel, they just let logic go out the window. It's like, all right, look, you want to fight, right? You want to defend yourself, or you want to go help some country. Meanwhile, they have an actual army. They have an actual, like, a military. They got Air Force, and they got all kind of weaponry that you don't have any defense against. So I don't really see like you're outnumbered. You're not going to win. You got to figure out a way to just minimize your damages at this point. Minimize losses. I don't really understand. You can die. Okay, I guess that's fine, but maybe you want to live. Maybe you want to live. And you know what? At the end of the day, you could fight or whatever, but Ukraine is not going to be free, because either way, somebody's going to control it. Either it's going to be Russia or it's going to be NATO. And right now, it's a power struggle between NATO and Russia. That's what's happening. It's not even about Ukraine. Ukraine caught in the middle. Ukraine wouldn't be caught in the middle if they didn't try to, if they didn't try to resist what Russia wants them to do, which is to be neutral. That's just my opinion. I mean, I don't know. And I said the same thing from the beginning. Tulsi Gabbard's right on the same page with me. She's in the military. She's gone to Iraq during the war back in like 03, 04. So she knows. I'm not sure what she did in Iraq, but she was over there. I can't say I've ever been to Iraq. I'm not trying to go sleep on a hot floor drinking 1,000,000-degree water out of a can or something. I ain't trying to do that, but she did that. So maybe she has an idea what she's talking about. And I'm not saying the whole appeal to authority, oh, she's in the military, she knows better, because some of these generals go on TV and they say the most ridiculous things, like Mark Camilli. I want to know about white rage. That's your man's high school football teammate. What's his name? Rachel, aka Rick, Big Ricky, Pretty Ricky Levine, looking like the Penguin from Batman. Danny DeVito, 1992. But anyway, sometimes generals go in there and say crazy things as well. But I think what she said there was just logical and it made sense. It's harsh to hear, but it's the truth. That's what she was in the kitchen in Iraq. Hilarious. Hey, if she was in the kitchen, if she was on the front line or whatever, I don't know where she was, obviously, but she was over there. She could have been making sandwiches in the mess hall. That's fine. But she was there. Could have been a mortar shell that hit her too, just like anybody else out there. All right. So that's what that is. Did I get everything I wanted to get to? Oh, I got a picture for you guys. Here's a picture. This picture is crazy, and it kind of underlines a point that a lot of us have been making over the past few weeks about some of this ridiculous stuff. Now, okay, just look at it, and you let me know what's wrong with it. Just look at it. Hold on one second. Let me get it situated. So just look at it and tell me what's wrong with it. Just observe. You see what's going on here. For you guys that can't see the image, you listen to me on audio. This is NCAA swimming. So you have what appears to be, what should be women swimming. They're diving into the pool to start their swim, right? Now, mostly all of the so-called women at the point where this picture is taken are in the water, or at least they're very close to the water, like their hands extended are touching the water surface, just breaching it, splashes coming up and whatnot. And there's one person who is way above the water, has a crazy reach advantage, leap advantage, all of that the other women. So can you guys see what's going on? Can you see what I see? Do you know why this may be? Just a wild guess why this may be like this. Is it because somebody just, I don't know, they got a crazy vertical, they got crazy genetics, or is it because all the other women have XX chromosomes and this person at the very top looking like Spider-Man has XY chromosomes? Look at this. This is crazy. Like, this is why we say it's unfair for so-called trans women to compete against biological XX women. You can't just say, all right, I'm going to take hormones and then now I'm a woman. No. Look at your vertical. Look at your reach. Look at your shoulder. Look at your body, sir. You're a whole ectomorph diving in the pool with a crazy 40-inch vertical. You could probably dunk a basketball off of your flat feet, not even running into it. Just grab the ball straight off the ground and dunk. Boom. Kobe Bryant, RIP. This is crazy. How is this fair? When you go into the pool, you see something like that, you know it's already just not fair. Already. Not to mention, you have a higher lung capacity. You have a higher cardiovascular capacity. More upper body strength, which is the main thing is women, upper body strength, cardiovascular. You can't lose. If you lose, you lost on purpose against biological women. All right. This is crazy. But hey, trans women are women. Black Lives Matter too, right? That's all the affirmation. Shout out to all the YouTube moderators. I mean, Google moderators, not my moderators, the Google moderators. Trans women are women. Black Lives Matter. Hands up, don't shoot. I know about roaches. All the affirmations. What the last one, was that right? I don't know. But anyway, this is where we at nowadays. This is where we at. And there's been some action against this. I saw there was a letter that was written, but there needs to be some legislation. It needs to go to the Supreme Court, because you could write letters, all that kind of stuff, and that's cool, but you need to get some laws passed to make that be illegal. Because that's just, I mean, come on. That's crazy. And like I've said before, there's never, you never see it the other way around. You never see trans men competing in men's sports. Like, find me the trans man is going to go try to play against LeBron James in basketball. It's impossible. Impossible. Even the best biological women in the WNBA, like the top woman in the WNBA, will have no chance against a LeBron or even some bench guy in the NBA. Even the bench guy, they have no chance, man. It's just not fair. That's why you have a men's league and the women's league, not just because of identity and how they feel. It's not even about that, because if that's the case, you could have an LGBT league for those who identify as gay. You might have you got gay guys in the play football, basketball, or whatever. So what? That's what they do in their personal life. But at the end of the day, your personal life does not affect your bone structure. It doesn't affect your vertical jump. It doesn't affect your big gigantic hands. Okay, it doesn't affect your big construction worker, pipe fitter, welder, brick mason hands. Okay, it doesn't affect that at all. Your hands looking like you can squash a watermelon like this. Boom, just obliterated. Your testosterone, estrogen does not. Your treatments don't change that. Okay, your lungs still humongous. I digress. The point is that picture was nuts. I had to show you guys that. I got some more stuff I want to show you before I continue to move forward here. I got a few more things. Oh yeah, I called him an ectomorph. You know, have you guys seen like certain body types of male body types? If you guys are into fitness, you might understand what I'm talking about. You have ectomorph, endomorph, and I forget the other one. Mesomorph. Yeah. So these are the body types, just real quick, just to show you guys this. So you see, ectomorph, endomorph, mesomorph. So the ectomorph, that is Leah Thomas right there, 100%. This is ectomorph. This is not a woman's body at all. Not at all, in the least bit. Okay, women have wider hips, carry a baby, stronger bodies on a lower body, upper body's way different. This biology, I guess we don't do that anymore nowadays. We don't teach biology. We just say, hey, you know what? You're a man if you feel like a man. If you feel masculine today, then you're a man. That's what we say nowadays. We don't talk about actual science, stuff like this, right? We don't even do that. And I say that Leah, quote unquote, is an ectomorph because Leah got to be about 6'3", 6'4". Because I'm 6'3", I know a tall guy when I see a tall guy, even on television. That got to be about 6'2", 6'3". Bare minimum 6'2". Probably about 6'4". Humongous. Basketball player. Tim Duncan. But I'll move on. Yeah, I guess I'm an ecto. I'm not really sure. Or the other one. I think I'm an ecto. But let's get to a few more because I'm tall like that. So, you know what I mean? But I got a few more things that I had in the tuck. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. You know, I couldn't do it without you guys. And, I almost forgot this one. So here's a clip. Have you guys seen Joe Biden eating pizza in front of the troops? Now, for some reason, he ate jalapeno pizza, and he was struggling for hours after that because he had to go talk. I think he was in Poland. He had to go talk, and he had to continuously drink water because he had the jalapeno was burning his throat. It's like, why would you eat that? Why would you eat jalapenos before you got to do a speech? I don't understand. But anyway, so here is your president. I'm teasing, but here is the president, Joe Biden, enjoying some nice pizza with the troops. And take a look at how the troops are looking at Creepy Sleepy. Not very enthusiastic, not very loving. It's kind of like, matter of fact, hold on. Let's rewind a little bit. Look at his face right there on the left. They don't appear to be too happy to see this guy. They're not very happy at all. Look at this. And the troops, they're trying to be professional, trying to maintain their composure, but they do not appear to be happy. And how can anybody blame those guys? You can't blame these men for not being happy to see this man. But who would, if you were a soldier over in Poland, where you shouldn't even be, and the reason why they're in Poland is because Biden is sending them out there to try and kind of like interfere with the war a little bit. Look at this.
Anyway, we became friends. And I used to always kid him.
Uninterested. Uninterested. If this was Trump, it wouldn't be like this at all. The troops love Trump. Love him. This guy, this is embarrassing. Embarrassing. Oh, if it was Kamala, oh my goodness. Man, oh man. If it was Kamala, they wouldn't even, it'd be probably the same, but maybe even a little bit worse. These people are terrible, and I think the general public are starting to really realize it, for sure. Matter of fact, here's a good comparison to make. There's two pictures we're going to show. Give me 1 second. And put them on the screen. There we go. So here's Trump with the troops. Okay. And you see how everybody's enthusiastic. Everybody's getting selfies. Everybody's smiling. Yay, Trump. Yay. People not only they got 1, 2 cameras out there. Everybody getting their picture. Everybody smiling. You see Melania, big smile. Yay. Real festive, right? With Trump. Now, let's see the contrast with your man Joe Biden and see what's going on with him. Okay, you have some really labored smiles here. Okay, there's a couple of smiles, but not very enthusiastic. It's kind of like, it's like if you go to your grandma's house for Christmas and your auntie gives you a fruit cake for a gift. It's like, oh, thank you, auntie. I appreciate it. Okay. And then the guy in the back, he has a pretty good smile. Like, yeah, I'll be on TV. Looking like John Cena Sr. And then you have these two guys, not very enthusiastic, just kind of like, not very good. I mean, and nobody has their phone out. You see what I'm saying? It's Joe holding the phone, but nobody else has their phone out because it's not really that big of a deal. It's like he's initiating it for them. It's not like the people around him are saying, hey, can we get a picture? He's saying, I want a picture with y'all. Big difference. Yeah, somebody said John Cena in the back. As I said, John Cena Sr. in the back. Big smile. I'm going to show my son this. That type of thing. But yeah, exactly, Dragon Slayer. With Trump, it was the soldiers taking selfies rather than Trump himself. Trump's just like, hey, I'm here for y'all. I got you. It's all good. You see what I'm saying? So that video wasn't a fluke that I showed you of the troops over in Poland looking at Joe Biden eating the pizza sandwich with the jalapeno tearing his throat up. That wasn't a fluke. This is just how they think about him. Military, they don't like this guy at all. Point blank, period. And to see the left still kind of try to hang on, it's like, I don't understand why. What are you doing trying to hang on? What are we even talking about here? It's just so weird. All right, that gets everything I wanted to get to. I think I did. So yeah, shout out to Trump, and shout out to everybody who regrets voting for Biden if they voted for Biden. If you regret voting for Biden, you apologize. I'll forgive you. It's all good. I wish you didn't do it because we wouldn't be here right now, but I'll forgive you. What else can I do? I'm not gonna hold a grudge. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna hold a grudge. All right, but we'll move on from here. And if you like what you heard so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. And we got super chats on deck, and then I'm going to get to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Hold on. Pete Sangria says, you can't do a proper Dominican accent without throwing a few, hey, Papi, in there. Hey, Papi, what happened? That's a New York Dominican stuff. So, yeah, shout out to you, Pete Sangria. Appreciate you, boss. And shout out to Apu for the super chats at the beginning here. Apu says, RIP Matthew Perna, victim of deep state DOJ crimes. Also, reminder, January 6th is an inside job. Ray Epps and trapped MAGA. Also, God bless J6 MAGA and DC jail solitary. Pray for release. And what else we got going here? Thank you to Josh Foss, who says, "What's up, ABL? Are you hearing talk about Elon potentially buying Twitter? And what's your thoughts? If this were to happen, I could see a bunch of their progressive employees walking out." I heard about people asking Elon to buy Twitter so he could reform it, but that's a dream. That would never happen. Even if he bought it, how would he reform it? Because ultimately, you got to get people that are in tech to work. And the sad part is that a lot of your tech people are going to be, well, let me back up a little bit. You got a couple factors. Matter of fact, I'm going to go all the way back. I'm going to back all the way back out of this a little bit and explain what I'm going to say from the beginning. I think Twitter is still the best platform of its type available to the market. Still, it's flawed, of course. It has problems, banning, shadow banning, yes. But it's still the best one, and I'll explain. Twitter functions properly all the time, doesn't have a bunch of downtime and whatnot, very rarely. That's the first thing, most important thing. The second thing, it has the biggest user base. When I say of its time, I'm talking about Twitter has spawned a bunch of different offshoots that are clones of Twitter. Gab, Truth Social, Parler, they're all basically Twitter clones. Twitter's still the best one out of all of them. Because with some of these things, you can't even get signed up. There's a bunch of technical problems. There's no app. The app don't work. The website don't work. And so, all the above. And even on those other sites, there's still censorship. There are some things that are censored that you may agree with, but there's still censorship to a certain extent. You're not going to be free from censorship on social media platforms, because if you want to have a family-friendly place, how can I say? If you want to have a place that adheres to laws, put it to you like that, adheres to laws and has some kind of decorum, you're going to have censorship to a certain extent. The problem with Twitter is that they are often pressured by DC and some of their woke employees at the same time. If Twitter could just have all of the stuff on the website and make all the money from the advertisers, they do it. But now they got pressure from people trying to boycott, pressure from DC, pressure from here, pressure from there, and they got their own employees that work in tech that are kind of ridiculous. And if you're going to replace them with who, where they're going to be coming from, they be coming from the Indian subcontinent, or they're going to come from America. And they come from America, a lot of the young folks are involved in the super far leftist stuff. These California liberals are ridiculous. Okay, it's a mess with the young tech workers. So how are you going to get to be the employees and do all that kind of stuff? You see what I'm saying? So it's challenging. It's a cool idea to have Elon Musk buy it, but practically what would happen as a result? How would you be able to reform Twitter? And again, there's a bunch of other Twitter clones out there, but none of them are as good as Twitter. And you don't want to have an echo chamber where it's just your side on an app or a website. Because if that's the case, then how are you going to be able to reach anyone else? With YouTube, everyone is here. Everything is here. So I'm able to kind of catch a normie and bring him back to the light. He's going to the darkness. He's finding these ridiculous woke videos, and he stumbles upon mine. And it's like, hey, I like that guy. I like what he's saying. Then they get what they call red pilled. How am I going to do that on a closed kind of a walled garden? So I would like Twitter to improve, but there's always room for improvement. And I think Twitter's still the best one of its kind. Deeply flawed, of course, but all of them are. All the social media platforms are flawed. True Social, Gab, Parler, all of them. So what are you going to do? You got to be able to change people, and you be able to have a better society as a result that wouldn't be so trying to cancel you and boycott you. And that's the actual problem rather than Twitter itself. Twitter is kind of a reflection of what we've put out there in society, without getting too deep and philosophical with you guys tonight. But that's kind of what I'm on. That's just what that is. Thank you to Apple, who says, ABL, you got the eye from family not liking grits. LOL, do you like Southern cooking, collard greens, cornbread, pork rinds, fried green tomatoes? Yeah, I like Southern food, of course. Collards. I mean, collards, I kind of, they're okay, but I like spinach, like actual spinach, kale greens, mustard greens. I like those. I feel like they're a little bit more fancy than collards. Collards sometimes are kind of gross, depending upon how they're cooked. And I don't like a lot of extra stuff on my collards. I like steamed. I'm a health kind of guy. I like steamed vegetables. That's my kind of wave. Cornbread, of course. Yep, cornbread. Pork. What you mean? Pork rinds, like the chips? Of course. Fried green tomatoes. Yep, all day long. Also, how about pickled pig's feet? I've had those before. They were okay. They weren't all that. I saw pickled pig's feet in West Virginia in a gas station in a jar. No, it wasn't pig's feet in a jar. It was pickles, like actual, like it was like a red pickle, a green pickle, and I think it might have been a blue one. Had them in jars, so different flavors of pickles in the gas station in a jar. So you can go in there to get some gas, go on the inside, get you a pickle, pack of gum, and a honey bun. And you good to go. Yep. But I'm not really big on pork though. Pork is okay, but I'm more of a chicken and fish kind of guy, and the occasional red meat, steak, hamburger, that kind of stuff. All right. Shout out to Apple again, who says, reminder, no Biden cabinet member got fired over AFG. Shout out to Creepy Pasta, who says Biden called for Putin to be removed from power and told our troops they will be in Ukraine. His quote stutter is going to get us into World War III. Y'all saw that. They're talking about, we're going to be in Ukraine. He said that over there when he was in Poland. It's like, see, you're playing with fire. You're really playing with fire, and you're going to mess around and get somebody nuked. You don't want that to happen at all. You don't want that to happen. You don't want, what you going to do, a regime change in Russia? Are you dumb? Regime change? That'd be the end of the world. It makes no sense. People just get caught up in their emotions and don't look at the consequence. People say, you know what, let's take Putin out. It's like, okay, you are on a suicide mission, but your self-destructive plans are going to get me hurt. So how about let's not do that? Let's not do that. Because I don't know about you, sir, but I like living. If you don't like living, hey, man, you know what? There's 80 million ways. Choose one. How about that? But I digress. Apple also says favorite action TV show, 18, Magnum PI, Knight Rider. That's too old for me. I never watched those. You know what I'm saying? I'm 37, so were those around when I was like in the 80s or something, or 70s? I never watched those. Do I shoot bow and arrow? I've not shot bow and arrow. I think I've shot a crossbow before, but not a bow and arrow. A boomerang? I had a frisbee, but not a boomerang. Blow dart, bolo? No. Ain't none of that going on over here. I ain't trying to, sprinkle no voodoo dust on nobody. Do I like clothes and shoe shopping, housewares? Not really. Do I appear to be a clothes shopper? Do I appear to be a clothes shopper kind of guy? Not necessarily. No. Shoes and whatnot? No, I don't actually like shoe shopping. Like I got about 100 pair of this same shoe. Straight up. Like I have this shoe. I wear this pretty much every day. You can identify me because I'm tall, dark skinned. I got these on. Or I'm wearing these or these. That's it. And I got about 1 million pair of these and 1 million pair of these. Straight up. I'm like Mark Zuckerberg with the fashion. Wear that same ash, heather, or whatever kind of gray t-shirt. Yep, that's me. That's kind of how I operate. Also, Josh Foss says, why is the left simping so hard for Ukraine? I'm driving home from vacation the other day and seeing several cars with Ukraine stickers and flags. It reminds me of Elon's tweet with the NPC. I support the current thing. That's exactly what it is. I support the current thing. Yes, for sure. Because the main thing that they're supporting is the anti-Russia xenophobia and anti-Putin narrative. That's all it is. They attacked a Russian bar owned by Ukrainians, by the way, in D.C. Why? Like they vandalized it, broke the window. Why? You're attacking a Ukrainian-owned store because it looks Russian. It's called xenophobia. We're embracing that over here because the news says it's okay to do that. Oh, Russia did this. Russia did that. It's the Red Scare in 2022. And people, a lot of people will fall victim into it and just take it. Be like, yep, the Russians are bad. Let's do something against them. The TV said so. 100%. All right. And Michael Guest says, notice Antifa and BLM are not in Ukraine. It's a real war. Combat zone. Too deadly. Exactly. They don't want that kind of smoke. They want that smoke where you're going to burn down an inanimate object. You're going to burn down the building and not have anybody do anything to you. Okay. And when you do get smoked by somebody, you want to cry victim. Oh, he shot me in my arm. Well, you were trying to put a gun. You were trying to kill him. You were trying to empty your clip on him. And when you got shot, oh, my arm. So soft. Apple says, plump guy on plane should have given the kid a window seat. Oh, you talking about that clip I had? Hold on. I'm gonna try to play it right quick. Hopefully it's not like, hopefully it won't strike me. But I had a clip on my Twitter. I'm not sure what movie this is from or if it's from a TV show or what. But to me, this was hilarious. Hilarious. Hold on one second. Let's go ahead and put it up right here. So the caption says, is he right or is he wrong?
Hey, sorry, would you mind if we switch seats just for this last part? She really likes to watch out the window as we land, and it helps calm her down.
Yeah, no, even if I wanted to switch, I think it's more important that your daughter learn a valuable lesson. That's not how the world works, you know. You don't always get your way.
Are you for real, dude?
Man, he was punishing those pretzels after he said that speech. Punishing. I'm talking about, hold on, like the end of that. Look at this. Like that face right there. That face is, I'm not going to move. I feel good about it. Too bad, so sad. Learn a lesson, little kid.
Are you for real, dude?
I don't know what that's from, but shout out to that show. That was hilarious. Yeah. But you can't always get your way. That's a fact. Things don't always go your way. That's just a fact of life. But anyway, let's go. Let's keep on moving with the super chats here. Michael Guest says, nice to have seen Biden kept his paws and nostrils to himself while visiting American military personnel. Exactly. And no sniffing and touching and whatnot. So I'm glad he was able to do that. San Diego Varsity Sports says St. Peter's with BLM tees, not feeling them as much. Oh, I saw that. That was unfortunate. Talking about the basketball team that is it, you know, the sweetheart team with BLM. That was kind of a bummer. Michael Guest says being called a stupid SOB by Biden is like being told to control yourself by Tubin. Okay, see, y'all talking about Tubin. Y'all catch me with the Tubin stuff. That gets Michael says, talk to Army in House in Nebraska. Trump won. Let's go, Brandon. That gets to San Diego Varsity Sports, who says, you see Manny Machado, Padres, Brandon t-shirt. Okay, that's what that was. Manny Machado. I knew it was an MLB player with a Let's Go Brandon shirt. I'm gonna pull it up. And I was talking about that earlier because of the vaccine mandate being lifted in New York City. And I know plenty of these Dominican guys in Major League Baseball do not have the vax. No vaccine, Papi. No vaccine. So you see him right there with the Let's Go Brandon. Big Let's Go Brandon. I mean, so shout out to Manny Machado for that one. I'm sure he has no vax. No vaccine. Thank you to the anti-view who says, Tone Loc and some funky Colt Medina, Gina was a man. Thank you to Silas Larson who says, the European colonial era in Africa lasted 60 years from the 1880s. Same length of time we've had affirmative action and other race-based privileges. Hold on one second. Let me see. Thank you to my site who says, those soldiers don't want to be seated by the one sending them to a theater, Ukraine near them. Exactly. Pete Sangria already read that one about the, hey, Poppy, thank you to Josh Faust, who says, why did Biden have his mask off yesterday while inside today? Mask was on while outside. Theater. Thank you to the anti-view who says, have you seen the clip on Norm Macdonald on The View? Not this clip, it is epic. He was right about the Clintons, Cosby, and The View. I've not seen that, actually. Or I may have, and I've forgotten about it. Thank you to Zen Christopher who says, they're still keeping you under 1 million subs. YouTube is corrupt. Thanks to ABL for being you. To all those hesitating to call, don't write down your thoughts. Call in, step up and contribute. Oh, yeah, it's all good. The phone lines are open to everyone. Thank you to Caius Proximus, who says, Germany and Japan are rebuilding the military. They're going to have to because they can't rely on us. Thank you to Ibanez Mastro for your donation. Thank you to Fat Planet, who says, how do you get your teeth so white? You got a great smile. Thank you for that. Just brushing them, and because I'm dark skinned, it's a contrast between my skin color and my teeth, and also the lights that are on me. But definitely just taking care of my teeth, brushing them, and my skin contrast. Thank you to the anti-view who says, so the Biden picture is with British troops and Americans. Look at the sleeve. Oh, I didn't even notice that. Thank you to Caius Proximus who says, lots of cartel members are ex-military and police. Andy the Gypsy says, still waiting for you to get on Cameo, my man. My fiance is your biggest fan. She loves you. A shout out from you would blow our mind. Thank you for that. That's a good reminder. I need to go ahead and just bookmark that. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, so let me go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and, I did look at the website. I just didn't sign up. So let me go ahead and just have that in the cut. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. You Matter to God says, I've been watching your channel for a while, from bluish pill to bright red. Thanks for all you do. People are waking up from the Matrix. Thank you for that. It means a whole lot to me that I'm able to help you. And that's a big part of the reason why I'm here, is to grab people like yourself that are kind of like, hey, man, what's he talking about? What's going on over there? So I'm glad you're here. Thank you. Thank you to Urbana Rodriguez for your here emoji. Shout out to Caius Posthumous who says, how about the 250 Haitians sent back from Florida? How about them, huh? We're sending them Haitians back. Hey, man, go back over there. We're bringing in Ukrainians. Yeah, it's weird. Thank you to Mike from Queens who says, Ukraine must be a great place to launder money. Oh, yeah. You already know what it is. Come on. We saw that. Joe Biden admitted to it, talking about, I went over there and told them you won't get the money unless you fire this prosecutor. And the prosecutor was looking into the company that his son worked for, and he was giving Joe a kickback from the company. So, yeah, it's definitely a good place to launder money, a good corrupt place to go over there and loot and pillage. That's what's going on. All right. We got calls on deck. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Do not be afraid to call. If Skype doesn't work properly, it's not my fault. Please blame the white man. But there is a Skype email in the box. You can call me on that, and you could be audio and video if you like. And again, the number to call, 434-658-1220. Let's go ahead and get rocking and rolling. See if everything's working properly, and we'll go ahead and get started. Oh, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, it's F&A Ranger Xbox. How you doing, brother?
Oh, it's all good, man. What's happening?
I just wanted to point out the fact that the Supreme Court pick was based on solely of being a black woman, and she can't give us the definition of a woman. So is she really qualified to what Joe Biden wants? I mean, he just wants a black woman, which I don't care. You know, personally myself, I think Carol Swain would be an excellent choice. You know, if you're going to go with a black woman, that would be my choice. I mean,
you got background noise, boss.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got to turn that down a little bit. I'm my bad. That was the stream on my tablet. But, yeah, Carol Swain would be my choice for a Supreme Court choice.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That's one heck of a woman there. And if anybody out there hasn't heard of Carol Swain, I recommend the first video you watch is Carol Swain from GED to PhD. Remarkable woman, remarkable story. Anyway, New York City's mayor. I had high hopes for that man. I did. I actually had high hopes after that clown they had for, 8 years? But found out that this guy, and I hadn't got a chance to tell you that, and this I'm going to end on this, that socialist piece of septic tank scum has been to China 7 times.
Who, Eric Adams?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And Tulsi Gabbard, and, I like what she says, but I have no use for her, and I have no use for Dan Crenshaw, because they're all part of the World Economic Forum, which is now the New World Order, where we'll own nothing and be happy. Yeah, right. Ain't nobody been, that's usually what they call serfs and slaves. But that's all I got for you, ABL. And please prove me wrong. I wish I was wrong. But Tulsi Gabbard was a helicopter pilot. She still is in the National Guard in the reserves or something. She's still a colonel helicopter pilot, I believe, is what her MOS was. That's all I got for you, brother. Love the show. God bless.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Bye.
All right, great call. Shout out to you, sir. Let's get to a few more here. Let's go to 808. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, how's it going, ABL? This is Bennett.
All right, man. What's happening?
Hey, man. I've called a few times. You've let me on. I appreciate all your work. I'm calling from the island of Maui here in Hawaii.
All righty.
I'm just checking in. Yep, just checking in and letting you and the viewers know that today is our first day of no more mask mandate in the state of Hawaii.
Well,
it took until
congratulations, finally.
What's that?
I said congrats, finally.
Yeah, unbelievable. 2 years they took off our life, and the conditioning on the local people here in Hawaii has been next level. You wouldn't believe how a lot of the local people, the ethnic people, Filipinos, some of the Japanese, some of the Asians, some of the Hawaiians, they are completely brainwashed. And I went out today just to go to a few places, saw a lot of masks, saw a lot of people without a mask. But the main thing was nobody bothered me. And that's all I wanted. Just don't bother me.
Yeah. So was that an issue before? People bothering you as far as the mask? People were like, were they enforcing the mask mandates pretty heavily in Hawaii?
Yes. It was tearing the community apart. You would have customers coming up to you saying, "Hey man, put your mask on, man." And it's just like, "Hey man, just mind your own business, please." And my concern is going to be now moving into this new phase, which is back to normal. A lot of people are going to have a lot of issues, because they held on to that. They got empowered, virtue signal, all of that. So I'm hoping that with some compassion, with some empathy on both sides, people can get back to normal, because I was one of those activists that was going around with a couple of my friends, and we were documenting everything on GoPros and making little videos about going into stores without a mask, talking to people, talking to the managers, asking them if they could put a mask recommended sign in the window. We don't need the cops. We don't need the politicians. We can work this out. And we got so much coverage on Maui that the Maui Police Department formed a task force to target me and my friends, and we're going into the stores and telling them, if you see these guys, you call us immediately.
That's crazy. Totally crazy.
Yeah, it was really crazy. I want to is it okay if I plug my YouTube channel? I got a bunch of this footage on my YouTube channel.
Go for it. Yes, please.
Okay, my YouTube channel is called Auditing Hawaii, like a tax auditor. Auditing Hawaii. And you can go and see a lot of the activities we've been doing over the last couple of months because we couldn't sit around and, you know, we didn't know that the mask mandate would end. They only announced it just a few weeks ago, but it almost looked like there was no light in sight. And so here we are now. So now, today, you are complying if you do not wear a mask, right? Yesterday, you had to have a mask on, and there were lots of businesses that were holding on to it all the way until yesterday.
Wow. Unreal.
Yeah. I just wanted to give a shout out. Thank you for plugging my YouTube channel. I see it on the chat.
Oh, no problem.
Also, real quick, the last time I called in was 2-3 months ago, and I got a little emotional, you know, because I was trying to bring light to the folks out there, your viewers, and that the reach that you have, ABL, that I was sort of making like an SOS, like we need help in Hawaii. Because everyone around the world, they know Hawaii, but they didn't know what's happening here. Hawaii is 100% blue. Democrat rule. Mayors, governors, county council, state legislatures, senators. It's all blue. So there's no pushback.
Right. Wow. Crazy.
Yeah. So I just want to thank you, ABL. I appreciate you. I've been watching you for years, man. We're in the fight out here. We have a big election season coming up here in Hawaii. We're looking to hopefully get BJ Penn, former MMA world champion. He's running for governor for the people, fighting for the people. We are trying to change the corrupted government in the state of Hawaii and my Maui County. And it's people like you, ABL, that help us give people like us a voice to thousands of other people through the things that you do. So just want to give you a big shout out to all the viewers, to you, ABL. Love you. And thanks again. This is Bennett. I'm signing out.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Take care, brother.
I know. Wow. Yeah, it's crazy about Hawaii, ain't it? I mean, and there's no science behind that. It's just people just taking so much freedom and power from people. That's really the main thing that's going on here. It's nuts. Mike from Queens, what's happening, man?
What's up, Anthony? How you doing?
Everything's all good. Can't complain.
That's good to hear. Can't remember the last time I called in. I think it's 6 months, maybe. I don't even remember.
Yeah,
Time has just been flying by.
Yes, sir.
So, but I still check in. I mean, I still, not like the old days. I'm busy right now and whatnot. I think everybody's been busy. We're living in a crazy world right now, more than ever.
Oh yeah.
And, I'm just watching Trump's rally right now on Newsmax, and he's down in Georgia, getting people fired up and whatnot. A lot of people don't realize this. Come the midterms and these primaries coming up, you have to vote for all these America First candidates. Anyone who's a rhino, get them out.
That's right. They got to go.
Steve Bannon had the right idea with primarying and getting people into the local jurisdictions to get all these people out of, to get these rhinos out of these positions of secretaries of state, the county, the person in charge of the county elections, you know what I mean? So I just wanted to say that, I'll give you a report about New York. I have to say, I was on the train last week and going into the city, and I was surprised there were actually more cops on the trains now.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, Adam said that he was going to put more police on the trains, and there was more of a police presence, I had to say. I went into the Times Square area because I was going to see a rock show there. You could tell who the tourists are and who the natives are. The people, like when you're in Times Square, the natives are trying to walk around and avoid all the tourists, just trying to get to where they want to go, whether if it's a restaurant or a Broadway show or whatever. But I had to say there was, it was the normal police presence around Times Square. But I was like really surprised. But I mean, we still have the problem with the homeless. I mean, there's more homeless people now than I've ever seen in my 44 years living in the city. They got to bring back these, not insane asylums, but they got to bring back what they had under Giuliani, where they would go out with these social workers and, take the people off the street. But the only way you're really going to get the crime under control is they need to roll back these bail laws, and they have to bring back the broken windows policing. Enforcing those low-level offenses, because that'll prevent these criminals from, committing more major crimes.
That's right. And you know what? I was on the stream last night with Brandon Tatum, and we had a guest. His name Eric Butler, and he lives in New York City. I think he lives in Bushwick, Brooklyn, and he put out a book called New York City 2020. And what he did was he went around the city taking pictures on his iPhone. I think he had like 2 or 3 iPhones full of pictures. And I bought the book, and I'm going through it, and I'm seeing all kind of stuff. The trash that was really piled up during the pandemic, people using drugs all over the place. Like, it's giving the view of what's happening. And a lot of that can be cleaned up by having, like you said, broken windows policing and the enforcement of certain things, because it could be a small thing to somebody, but once it's done over and over again and repeatedly in different times, it becomes a serious problem that it compounds on itself.
I mean, look how many, the problem is too, look how many people also moved out of the city. A lot of people that didn't want to completely move to Florida, Texas. I have 3 friends that just within the last year moved down to Tennessee.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of you guys coming to Tennessee, straight in Nashville or in surrounding Murfreesboro, Nashville, every day. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I think that's the town one of my friends moved to was Murfreesboro.
Yep.
Like I said, if I didn't have my job up here, I might have made a move years ago, or maybe, years ago. But I have a good job up here in the city, and I'm kind of stuck where I'm at. Not really stuck where I'm at, but I kind of have a benefit to stay up here. But people that are moving out that don't want to move too far away, they're either moving to upstate New York where it's rural, where property is cheaper. It's a little bit cheaper to live in the upstate part of New York. They're moving to Pennsylvania. People are moving to Delaware, or they're moving all the way out east, out to Long Island.
Yep.
So, all right. Thanks for taking my call, and I'll be talking to you soon. And have a good night.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate it.
You got it.
So yeah, that book, I have it. I'll probably put it in the background behind me, but I've gone through it so far. It's not a book like as far as he's writing about it. It's just a picture book, and you go through it. It's like thousands of pictures of New York City during 2020. If you search Eric Butler, New York City 2020 on Amazon, you'll see it. It's a sale right now for like $15. So y'all go ahead and get that if you're interested in seeing what New York City was like during this pandemic. And one of the main things I saw was the trash everywhere. That's just, you couldn't even walk on the sidewalk because it's just trash. I'd never seen it before in my life. Out where I live, I'm in the suburbs. I got my little trash receptacle. I just roll it outside, put it right there on the thing, and I'm good. And where I live, it's not even like city trash. It's like private companies give you a trash can. Like it's good out here. Okay. $3,000 a month for a studio apartment. I mean, it's crazy. It's totally ridiculous. Thank you, Lori Hensley. Eric Butler, NYC 2020. That's correct. And the front cover is like a brick wall type of thing. Yeah, it's like $15 right now. So y'all go ahead and get that if you're interested in supporting the good conservative and seeing what happened during this pandemic, really. All right, calling online, speaking to Anonymous.
Oh, hey, ABL. Patrick from California. How's it going?
It's all good. About yourself?
Oh, good, man. I'm just going to turn down my little Trump rally going live right now in Georgia. So anyway, I just wanted to comment real quick on our southern border. Instead of focusing on Ukraine and the Russia thing so much like, everybody's doing with the media, really we should be focusing on the pouring in of all the illegals in our southern border. And everybody needs to understand that the cartels are just as well as equipped as the Russian conventional force or the Ukrainian conventional army, thanks to Obama's Fast and Furious operations. I mean, if you've gone on YouTube or Rumble and have seen videos of the cartels fighting the Mexican military and winning the Mexican military, they have every sort of conventional arms that you can imagine on this earth. So how comfortable should you feel right now living in Texas, Arizona, California, any of the border states? I mean, if you're going to go over to Ukraine and fight, I mean, maybe you should think first, well, I should go to my own country's border and fight first, to put that in perspective. So anyway, I just wanted to get that sort of across and into people's minds as to the gravity of the situation. And I'm not sure if you wanted to comment on anything like that as well, if you kind of see eye to eye with me as well on that.
I mean, I'm right there with you. I mean, it makes 100% sense because, people just, it goes back to what I was saying earlier, or what someone commented about, I support the current thing. They're not thinking about, hey, there's actually some conflict happening right here in our country, some serious things right across the border that could really impact us and endanger us as a country. They don't think about that because that's not in the media as much. But Ukraine is in the media, and so is Vladimir Putin. So they go over there to die for that cause rather than fighting for where they actually live. That's what I was saying from the beginning. It's like, hey, if you want to fight for your own country, that makes perfect sense. Okay, I would never say that's wrong to do, but to go somewhere else, a foreign country, and just volunteer to die, it makes no sense. But it does make sense when I understand that a lot of them have been brainwashed by the propaganda from the mainstream media.
Right. Yeah. I agree 110%, and it makes me sick. And, it makes me really feel for my country. And at this point, it's just like what Trump says, if nothing gets solved and figured out soon, then we're going to have a serious problem to where we're not even going to have a country anymore. So anyway, I appreciate your time, ABL. Take care and have a good one.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you. All right, now shout out to the caller. Let's go to the next one here. Let's go. And by the way, the number to call 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Let's go ahead and get to a few more. 773, you're online. I'm speaking to.
ABL, it's your retired Chicago police officer friend. How are you doing?
I'm well, man. How about yourself?
I'm good, thank you. That New York City is reversing that vax mandate, but of course Chicago is full steam ahead with that. But we have some lawsuits going, one of which, the police do, one of which that the city had changed the governmental form for a religious exemption. They took the religious exemption and they added to it that you have to have it signed and notarized by your priest, your minister, or whatever, the Pope probably. And where you have a lawsuit that's against the law. Also, now we get an FOP newsletter every month. Fraternal Order of Police, that's the FOP. And now there's a lawyer that's advertising in there for people to jump on, a class action lawsuit. If you went against the vax mandate and, your pay was stopped, if you were in a no-pay status. And then the other thing is that the FOP has a YouTube channel. It's just mostly for coppers. It's a small thing where the president of our union gives an update, a short update twice a week, and talks about union stuff if you couldn't get to the union hall for the meetings because of the way we work our hours. And he reported, now remember, in the 1990s when I took the test to be the police, there were 10,000 people that took that test. I took the test inside the United Center where the Bulls play basketball. That's how many people were taking a test. There weren't even desks. You took the test on a clipboard. That's how many people wanted to apply.
Wow.
And he reported last Friday that the week before they gave the test. Now, that's just a test to take the test to be the police. You know, there's other background checks and everything. They had it at Daly College here in Chicago. One person showed up. One ABL. Nobody wants to be the police anymore. And, of course, crime is going to go through the roof.
That's totally insane. But at the same time, I mean, we could have seen it coming, because look at how the police are treated. Look at how the image of the police has been so tarnished. It's like, why would you want to do that right now in this current climate?
Absolutely. People are getting sued all the time. I was talking to a lieutenant. Now, lieutenant's pretty high. You know the military, you go from, a soldier, or, the police are paramilitary. We have police officers, then we have sergeants, and then we have lieutenants and captains, and then the exempt rank. When you're a lieutenant, you're making good money. He's leaving early because he's been sued so many times. When a police officer makes an arrest anywhere in the city, any district, any police station in the city, when you make an arrest, you bring the arrestee to the station, you go to this interview room where you look up his rap sheet and you type up the police report, you type up the complaints for court, you type up the arrest report. There's a bunch of reports that you have to do when you arrest somebody. And then that report has to be approved by the watch commander, who's usually a lieutenant. Well, because he approves that, if there's a lawsuit, which nowadays there's a lawsuit all the time, he's brought in the court. This is a guy that he's not even on the street. He's just making sure that all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted, and he's brought into on federal charges for, this happened or that happened on the street that he wasn't even there. He's just reading your narrative and making sure everything is, correct. That's all he's doing, and he's approving it. But because his name is on there, they're suing the higher ranks. And Mayor Lightfoot just came on television and said just that besides the rank and file, meaning the police officers, besides the rank and file having to be held accountability, the higher ups in the department need to be held. Well, the thing is, they're not on the street. They don't know what I'm doing. I'm there and I'm arresting people, bringing them in. They're not there when this crime is happening and I'm bringing it in. So, I mean, that's ridiculous. It really is. And you know what? More than likely, Chicago is going to have to reverse their mandate, but it'll be after the fact. And they played, if I may, I don't want to take up all your time. If I may, they're also playing this game where, because we're so short-handed with policemen, now remember, I've retired now, and because we're so short-handed with policemen, they cancel days off all the time. You go 24/7, 7 days a week. That they cancel days off at their whim, and you have to go with that. You cannot just not show up to work. And mistakes happen when you're overworked and everything else. And that's how they're handling the shortage of manpower. Then I wanted to say one more thing about the transsexuals, in sports. When you take these individual sports like track and field, well, there was something like 250 high school runners that could beat the female world record holder at the 400 meters or whatever. You could see this in a co-ed sport or in a co-ed run like a marathon. You have the elite male athletes. You have the elite female athletes. These elite female athletes beat thousands and thousands of males. They beat them. But those elite female athletes are not going to come anywhere near the times that the elite male athletes finish the marathon in. And there's your proof that males usually do better than females. Of course, there's those females that are much, much better. If you go to John McEnroe had that controversy where he said that about Serena Williams, where she would be ranked. Yeah, Serena Williams can go around. She could beat thousands and thousands of men. But in the eliteness of that sport, she's not going to be ranked number one with other men. There it is right there.
Exactly. 100% correct. Well, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you very much, ABL. I always, love your show and appreciate you taking my call. Thanks a lot.
I know. All right. Shout out to the caller. Great calls as always. Let's get to some more here. 216, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Thousands and thousands of men.
216, hello.
At sports, she's not going to be ranked number one.
216, hello.
There it is, right there.
All right. So callers, when you call in, please have your phone have your ear next to the phone. There is a delay. You're not going to be able to watch the stream and hear your number. So please have your ear to the phone. Let's go to the next one. Let's go. Seven 773, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, is this ABL?
Yes, it is.
Well, hello, good sir. Just want to call in and talk about. I have a kind of a theory. I think we're reaching as a society towards something I call peak insanity. So, like you were showing earlier with Leah Thomas, and this is insane idea that men can be women and all this. I was just thinking, one day we're going to see soon in the future that, you're going to see a headline like baby starves because, man who identified as woman was breastfeeding and was unsuccessful, people be shocked or something, So, and then society, it just seems like they're dividing it along all these different lines, wherever they can in the news, trying to scare people. And then I think eventually it's just going to be this division between the sane and the insane, people that have a grip on reality, like you and all your listeners. And then there's people that are just believing absurdities,
That's right. Yeah, that's going to be it eventually, for sure. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I'm just going to finish kind of saying, too, eventually, the left, I grew up in a family that was very, very left growing up, pretty much communist. And, all this woke stuff that's going on right now, to me, that was in my family, and we were the weird ones. Because, as a kid, my parents would tell me, oh, you can't say this, you can't say that, really controlling language. And, it's always looking for the victim here and there. And it's just weird to see society reach the point where, my communist parents were at when I was a kid. And it just shows how far we've moved. And it's really just cultural Marxism, which has kind of gotten a hold of society. And it's gotten a hold of my family as far as a lot of them were just good, intelligent. I come from a family of educators, and they were Democrats and, left, progressive. And at a time that meant something they were really trying hard to be good people and to, make positive change. But it's just so strange in the last 2 years. Everything has changed to the point where, I don't know, it's just they got convinced that they're fighting for all these good causes, but they're just believing in fantasy and actually creating new problems, creating new division and, focusing on these causes. If you can be convinced to wear knitted, representation of genitalia on your head and go march in Washington, D.C. against a president, based off lies, I mean, what can't you be convinced of, So just want to say, I kind of see society moving towards kind of this peak insanity. And then, eventually, the left won't even be able to talk because, they're always going to be worried about, well, who am I going to offend now? Or today I say this, tomorrow I can't say this,
Right on, man. Well, thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
So, thank you. Yeah, I just want to encourage other people to call in too and just kind of speak your mind. And you're doing a great job, ABL. Thank you so much for letting us all talk. And just keep on keeping on. You're doing great.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, shout out to the caller. Great call. Very well said. 415 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, my name's Patrick from San Francisco.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Hey, Bill, I just want to say
you've been a bad influence to me, man, because every time something happens, like if I stub a toenail or like I crash my bike, I always blame the white man now. So, yeah, and ABL, what do you think about this? You know Trump's going to run again, but I think that the VP needs to be DeSantis just because he needs to be familiar with what the deep state is, like the deep administration, you know? But that's about it. I think, you know, he needs to get familiar with the people that he needs to work with, and he needs to spot the ones that are in the side that you don't, you know, that's career, not politicians, but administrative. You know what I'm saying? But thank you, Abiel.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you. Yes, I see where you're coming from, but I think DeSantis is too big of a star to be the VP. I think DeSantis needs to be the president, not the vice president. But if Trump ran again and DeSantis was VP, then he could just go from that to being president and then president again. Perhaps. But I still, again, DeSantis would need to be the president at a certain point. He couldn't just be the vice president and that's it. Or DeSantis will run as a president. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens coming up here in 2024. Very interesting. We'll see. All right, let's get to some more here. It's a lot with Trump. It's a lot of pros and cons. It's just a whole lot going on. Let's get some more calls here. The number to call is 434-658-1220. 929, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Anthony.
Yes.
Oh, yes. I will leave a message in the YouTube chat, and I call your name about the winning shows. He is a rapist. He is a corrupt criminal. He is a bully. He be exposed by Steve Peter on the Gumboat. His channel name Steve Peter Network. I will link the website on your YouTube chat right now. Make sure you catch it up. I call your name.
You can't post links. Just post the name of the website without the .com. Just post the name of the website, and you'll be able to see it that way.
But you cannot see it.
You can't post actual hyperlinks, but you can post the name of the website. So if, for example, it was Google, you wouldn't put google.com. You would just put the word Google. So whatever the website is, put the name of the website without all the .com stuff, and it'll work that way.
Oh, okay. So you do get what I said, right, about random shows.
So who was the person that's corrupt and everything?
The random shows, the guy that show that Donald Trump endorsed right now, and I watched the Trump rally, and I see Donald Trump welcome him to the rally and endorse him. The guy random shows, the guy who is a Black American, used to be a Democrat, then they get the as Republican. Remember, he is the Black American Democrat race about Donald Trump.
I think I remember. You have Herschel Walker, but he wasn't a Democrat, I don't think. I forget the other guys. Georgia, yeah. I know you're talking about. I can't remember his name right now, but I do know you're talking about. Yes.
Yes. So he said how good Donald Trump is, but turned out he voted for Democrat. I believe that he voted for Joe
Jones.
Biden in 2022.
Yeah, Vernon Jones.
In 2020. Yes, Vernon Jones.
Okay.
He exposed by Steve Peter on the Gumboat. His channel is Steve Peter Network. So Steve Peter exposed his rape, lottery, racist, anti-white, and criminal corruption. Steve Peter even have live stream with him directly. So
okay.
I don't know why Donald Trump endorsed that guy who's gonna be a rhino.
I see. Okay. Now I need to see that particular video and whatnot to see what's going on. So I see what you mean now.
Yes. And about the last week, I talked about John Monmouth and the alphabet community ideology. Like they get the multi-lunatic chance to confirm Germany. But there is another guy. His name is Michel Foucault. He is a fan. He is a progressive lefty, a fan philosopher, and a politician. That guy, he had been a lot of rape, of sexual abuse of 5 young boys. When he a politician, he free criminal and they commit crime again. And also, he and his pedophile gang, they try to pass the law that allow adults to have sexual relationship with children with limitless aid. When I say limitless aid, I mean adults can have sexual relationship to children to the age to infant, which is they can have sexual relationship with baby. And that guy, he is the founding father of identity politics, the social justice, and the founding father of multi-lunatic genders.
Yeah, that's not very good from what I hear. So the guy was talking about children engaging in inappropriate actions with adults. That's not good. Yeah.
Yes. So this is why I want the conservative do not cave to the alphabet community. They are the ones who start the policy allow pervert to enter the female space from bathroom to sport to prison. They are the ones who make children to take the homework locker without their parents' knowledge. Do not cave to those pedophile community.
Yeah, that's not good at all. But thank you for your call. I got a lot more calls on the line, so I thank you for your call.
Oh, I will see you next week. And let's go, Brandon.
There you go. Let's go, Brandon. Thank you for the call.
Do not vote for rhinos.
That's right. No rhinos. shout out to the caller. All right, let's go to the next one here. Let's go 980 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Wayne.
All right, man. What's going on?
Hey, I got a question about, I know you profess to be atheists or agnostic. Isn't that correct?
I don't really put any kind of label. I just say I'm just not religious.
Okay. The reason I was asking is for a lot of the things that are going on in the world today, a lot of Christians have been talking about the prophecies that are unfolding and, talking about rapture and, the tribulation and the second coming of Jesus. What's your opinion on that? Do you have any opinion on prophecies and a lot of the current events that's happening in the world today? And do you think that would change your opinion on being perhaps a believer in Christ and the Bible if you started to see prophecies being fulfilled that couldn't be denied?
Well, I don't know. I really don't know about that. That's kind of a complicated subject, but I don't necessarily, I'm not an atheist. That's why I say I don't put labels on myself like that, because people get to judging you. I just don't believe in religion as it is today, because ain't no religion in the Bible. It's like that. I don't even want to talk about it. But basically what I'm saying is I believe in higher power, all that kind of stuff, but I don't believe in man's religion. Put it to you that way, because everybody has their own version of it. You got Catholics, which are also Christian, but they got the Pope. Who is that? So that's that kind of structure and whatnot. I don't really get into, but I have read the Bible many times. I do believe a lot of things that are in it, but I can't say that I believe in the structure that man has created around the Bible in different forms. Because it's like, okay, what are you going to be? Baptist, Pentecostal? You're going to be Orthodox? You're going to be Catholic? You see what I mean?
Yeah, I can appreciate that perspective. But what if you stripped all the denominational labels off of it and you didn't claim to be Catholic or any of the denominations, and you just strictly believed what was from Genesis to Revelation and just adhered to the fact that it's an inherent word of God that was inspired through man to be written, and that it's, all the other stuff, I agree with you. The denominations, even Catholics, that's a lot of man-made stuff. But if you look at just the purity of the scriptures, and you have faith that God has control over the scriptures, even over time, so that they're not broken, then the question I would have then is, if you use that from a logical conclusion that it's inerrant, then you start to see prophecy being fulfilled, like the rebirth of Israel as a nation, and you start to see in a lot of these other things that are coming to pass. Wouldn't that make people think, maybe there's some truth to this, maybe I should investigate it a little bit further?
I mean, people are going to believe what they want, really. People, you could see a man dive in the swimming pool. People say it's a woman. So people believe whatever they want to believe. At the end of the day, people got their faith, and I can't really, you see what I'm saying? So it's like, how do you can show somebody something, they believe what they want. So I don't think that's really going to be something that would change people, especially you got just as many Muslims as Christians, and I don't know. It's just kind of weird to me. That's why I really don't get involved in that type of talk, because then again, you have different versions of the Bible. You got NIV, KJV, which one is right, which one is wrong, who's interpreting it right, who's interpreting it wrong, different Bible study. What does this mean? What does that mean? Does this word mean that? Does that word mean this? It's just so much into it that I feel like it's more of a personal journey that you go on, rather than one that you kind of like have to adhere to certain things that others say make sense. That's kind of my viewpoint on it. It's more of an internal thing than anything else for me.
Yeah. I appreciate that. I think it comes down to the person who's willing to put in the time to determine what the counterfeit is. Kind of like when people study counterfeit, bills for currency, like the American currency, that you can't identify the counterfeits unless you study the original, and so a lot of times people say, well, I can't determine which one's better, or which one's right, which one's wrong. But I've had people tell me in the past they don't believe in anything because they won't, but then they don't seek the truth. So in other words, Jesus said, if you seek, you will find. But if you're not seeking, you'll never find. So, but I appreciate your perspective. I can see where you're coming from. But I thought it was funny that you brought in the whole swimming situation. You had to get that in there. Didn't want to let that one lay down.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
Okay. See you. Bye.
Yeah, and where I live, I'm in Tennessee. It's all kind of churches and whatnot around here that have different beliefs. We have a Church of God out here. We have I don't want to talk about the other one, but we had Church of God, and they pulled up on me. I was in the Walmart minding my business, I was on aisle 3 or whatever, aisle H18, wherever I was, buying some stuff, and they pulled up on me. Like the dude, he was with his daughter, allegedly, probably his wife, but I don't want to go down that road. Anyway, they kind of stopped and looked at me. I'm like, okay, is it a fan? You want a picture? That's what I thought it was at first, but he was like, hey, have you heard about the doctrine of God as a woman? I'm like, all right, man. So you know what? I was polite. I let him talk for about 2 minutes. I was like, you know what? Hey, man, that's not really my wave. I'm going to go ahead and roll up out. He gave me a pamphlet, and there was some stuff in it about God as a woman, and it says so in the Bible. I'm like, all right, well, thank you for the paper, sir, but that's going straight in the trash. That's just what it is. Let's get to the next one. Number to call, 434-658-1220. All right, let's go ahead and get. All right, Tariq, what's happening?
Hey, bro. Oh, my thing is ringing. Can you hear me?
I hear you well.
All right. I may have to hang up and call you back because my Skype is still down, and so I can barely hear you.
Got you.
All right, I'm gonna hang up and call back.
Yeah, that whole episode in Walmart was crazy. I see that kind of stuff all the time. All of the time. Matter of fact, look up Yellow Deli in Chattanooga. Yellow Deli, they cool though. I like them Yellow Deli, but they call them a cult. I'll talk about that. Hold on in 1 second. All right, Tariq, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. My Skype was messing up, but yeah, man, just a couple of things I want to talk to you. You made 2 good videos, man. The first one was about Tulsi Gabbard and Sean Hannity, and I'm in total agreement with you on that one, man. It's like in American media, man. I just feel like they try not to have Americans understand the gravity of what's going on with Russia and Ukraine. And I think I told you before, they make it like into some supervillain where one day out of nowhere, Russia just gets mad and decides to invade Ukraine. And poor little Ukraine got to fight back. And let me tell you what's so evil about supporting the Ukraine fighting back. They're not going to win this war. Okay, Russia is a nuclear power. It's very evil to continue to fund Ukraine and have these people fight because the Western powers hate Russia so much, but they don't want to get their hands dirty because they don't want to have a nuclear war. So Ukraine is used as a proxy. So literally, this is literally a proxy war for NATO to fight Russia. And the Ukrainians are dying. And to be honest, I wish the Ukrainian people would rise up against Zelensky, but I understand if your country is invaded, regardless of right or wrong, you're going to understand what your leader. But Zelensky is really letting down his people for continuing this fight against Russia. I mean, I don't know if you saw what Russia's peace terms was. I believe they had peace negotiations, and they had said three things. Ukraine to remain a neutral nation, never to join NATO, and the Donbass and I forget the other part of Ukraine is independent, which are two regions where it's primarily Russian. Okay, because
Crimea.
Yeah. Because Ukraine has been raising a civil. The whole civil war Ukraine thing was going on with the Ukrainians fighting the Russian Ukrainians. So. I mean, and the thing is, Ukraine may just going to have to concede to that. And Tulsi was right, the United States' role as being a superpower and what's best interest for the American people is to be neutral, to find a peaceful solution to this. Because why should Americans have to, with no benefit of ours, have to suffer increased prices of goods and everything going on, prices of gas for a conflict that's happening, like I said, 300,000 miles away from us, that most Americans can't even name a city there. But it's like we're so involved. And it's like there's no American interest in this. But you got some clowns who are just so gun-ho, ready to go to war. And what we have to understand is that rich people don't go to war. The elites send the poor to war. What the elites do is they make money off war. Okay, they buy stocks and get or they'll get the contracts of who's going to be the weapons manufacturers, or they get the contracts of who is going to go in that country and rebuild. The only people that suffer is the poor. So I just this is just by design, where Americans are starved of what is going on, and this is why RT was banned. We live in a silly, sensitive nation where businesses are just banning Russian outlets. I mean, if Russia has such bad propaganda, just refute it. But to outright ban it and not even barely allow a dissenting voice on the mainstream media shows that we don't really have a good argument really in giving Ukraine money and weapons. So that's just what I want to say on that. The other thing I want to talk about is that black news town that went down, and I'm so glad that went down. Because what we have to understand is this, man. Sadly, the majority of black news channels are owned by some liberal. If you look at that news channel, it wasn't even owned by a black person. It was owned by a Pakistani. So how are we talking about we so free and independent, where a person who is not even of your race sets the agenda of what you can talk about within your race? I mean, do you see how silly that sounds? And then has the power to fire you if need be. But yet this is supposed to be a black news station. It's goofy. Not only that, it's goofy. If you listen to that news station, which I rarely did, they're no different from CNN or MSNBC. Like, what are you saying specifically to black people that we can't go to a quote unquote white media and listen to? So yeah, I'm so glad that they failed, and I do want to disagree. I think a black media can make it, but they're gonna have to speak in a way where black people to talk to black issues, and they can't be partisan as far as you only allow a liberal point of view. you're going to have to bring some black conservatives on. You're going to have to bring some black independents on. Have some debates. That's what stirs up controversy. That's going to get people involved. But if all you're doing is being a front for the Democrat Party, like every other black outlet, every other black news or media organization, then you're going to get ignored, and rightfully so. So yeah, man, I'm glad they shut down. And, you know, I hope these black liberal clowns understand that you're not going to sit there and call something black and get black support, but you're just a slave to the Democratic Party. And that's all I got to say, man.
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it. That's a good point, though. That's definitely a good point, because if all you are is a clone of the mainstream media just with black anchors, it's like, why would I watch you when I could just watch the mainstream media? You're talking about the same thing. Literally the same exact talking points on your channel versus the other one. Now, if you come with something different, something that's not really seen, something that you really can't get anywhere else, some debates, black conservatives, black liberals, you don't see that a whole lot on television. You can't even be a straight black male and go on CNN at all. Okay, you got to be LGBTQ LMNOP. You got to be a black man married to a white man to go on CNN, allegedly. So that's a better thought process, to have something that's different. This is why I always say to anybody that wants to, thinking about doing a YouTube channel, thinking about doing anything that people are going to watch, it's like, you can talk about the same issues, but you need to be a little bit different. What are you going to bring that's different to the table? Do things differently. Be a different person. If you're a clone of another station, why would I watch you when I can watch the other one? All righty. Let's get to the next one here. All right, Tyler, what's going on?
For anything. Hey, ABL. What's going on, brother?
It's all good.
Hey, hey, I'm sure you've been keeping up this weekend with everything Biden has been doing overseas. I just wanted maybe a quick take from you of what you thought. Like, who could we send over there? Obviously, Joe's blowing it. I mean, just like everything he touches. But who could we send over there? I mean, do we have anybody there? I mean, there's nobody that the world's going to take serious that I can see right now. How about you?
Nobody. I don't think so. I mean, they're going to send Kamala Harris. They already sent her, and that was a disaster. Now they got Joe Biden over there, and it's not any better. So I don't see who they're going to send. What they're going to send? Nancy Pelosi, and that's not even going to be safe. She's too old to be traveling like that. So they have nobody.
Yeah, it seemed like they were trying to put a spin today, too, with Russia increasing things that were happening in the eastern part of Ukraine, just the security end of it. Like, you know, with Joe being over there and everything, they might got to get him home, you know, go ahead and send him on back to Delaware, get him some pudding or whatnot.
That's right.
Yeah, but I was thinking, like, they're only strong leaders. They've alienated Tulsi Gabbard. They're not going to reach out to anybody on the right, obviously. I mean, we need Daddy Trump to come on home. That's the only thing I can think. But
yeah, I mean, it ain't too many else. Too many other people that you could sign. You put that sign in the air, that the Batman symbol, for put the Trump symbol in the air. Have them come on. Yep.
Yeah, I just don't see any hope, man. Like I said, we all want him gone, but look at the alternatives. Kamala, Nancy, you go down the line, like, oof, it could get real bad.
That's right.
So. All right, well, I just thought I'd check in with you. Good show. Keep it up.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
All right, bro.
All right, shout out to Tyler for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. Let's get to a few more here. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Let's go 918. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Bill. It's JB Scotchman from Oklahoma. How you doing tonight?
Good, man. How about yourself?
Pretty good. I haven't caught much of your show tonight. I watched the Trump rally earlier online, and he was pretty fired up tonight. I don't know if you heard, but he even dropped the F-bomb at one point, which was pretty wild. So that'll be in the news here, I'm sure, tomorrow.
Of course.
But anyway, I was going to talk about. I don't want to get deep into religion because I'm like you. You know, I'm not religious. If somebody asks me if I am, my answer is simple. Yeah, I'm just a man. That's it. I'm just a man, you know, trying to be a good person in the short time that I have on this planet. That's all there is to it.
That's right.
And with religion, and the reason I can't get into devoted to a certain religion, and go to church every week, because it is man-made religion. It was pretty much created because man didn't have the answers. Like, what happens when we die? Nobody knows. Nobody ever will know until it happens to you. And that's why all of these religions came about, trying to give people assurance that when they do die, everything's going to be fine, And another thing, it has almost become a business in a way. It really is a business now, especially Christianity. Look at the Vatican. The Vatican is its own little country in a sense. And they don't have to abide by any international laws or rules. What makes them so special? I don't get it. And what makes the Pope so special? Why is he treated like a king? He's just a man also. Is he closer to God than any other people by some chance? I don't get it. And he's treated like a rock star, so.
Right.
But anyway, that's the only point I really wanted to make tonight. So I'll let you get on to other calls and keep it up, brother.
Well, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, later, man.
All right, shout out to the caller. But yeah, I don't know what's like. I'm just kind of like, all that's beyond me. You're allowing speaking to 817. 817.
Hey, ABL.
What's going on?
Yeah, are you there? Can you hear me?
I hear you well.
Hey, ABL. This is Todd in Arlington, Texas. I want to get your opinion. So, and let me preface this with, I am a Trump fan through and through.
Okay.
But here's the question. The question is, if he runs and gets reelected, are we going to see the same thing in the sense of they're going to line up 110% against anything and everything the man puts out there because he's Trump? Now, if DeSantis rolls in and he's a president, do you think there's a chance in hell anybody moderate comes in and kind of works with us? In other words, they're able to push the progressives aside and lean in and actually work with the conservative side. I'm wondering if, when everything is said and done, we want Trump, but what we're going to need is somebody to help, trample down this progressive wackiness that's going on.
So, what's the question?
Well, I'm just wondering if you think long term, if Trump goes in there, it's going to be 4 years of trying to correct everything that they've been doing with Sleepy Joe.
Yeah.
But if you get a DeSantis or someone in there that's not as polarizing, do we have a chance to long term kind of find some moderate level, get things normal? If Trump gets in there, he's going to flip the lid and he's going to change a lot of things and it'll make us happy. But what's going to happen in 4 years after that? He can't run. Here comes the Democrats, and they're going to be all fired up because it was Trump and what he did. I'm just wondering if we have an alternative, like a DeSantis or somebody else, that maybe, just maybe, we might get some assistance from some moderate Democrats. I'm just wondering if you think that's even a possibility.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting because what's going on, I think if and/or when Trump runs, you're going to have to see what happens at that point. Because if he runs, you can't really stop it. There's nothing you can really do. Because if you try to primary him, that's going to be damaging to whoever tries to primary him. If you try to have DeSantis primary Trump, that's not going to work. And he shouldn't want to put himself in that position to try and have to be that guy to force Trump to not run. So if Trump wants to run, he's going to run and win. But if he, the only way that he would stay away from the office is if he didn't run. So it's going to be kind of, it's going to be interesting to say the least come 2024. That's all I could really say about it, because it's kind of hard for me to predict what's going to happen right now. But I think the main thing we got to focus on is midterms. Once we can see what the midterms are going to be like, I think we'll get a better picture of how things will go. But even if it is DeSantis, the hatred that's been built toward the Republican Party and the GOP will persist. So if they think, I think after the midterms, they're going to ramp up their attacks on DeSantis just in case he runs. So it might not matter. Trump is kind of toxic because of his personality, but they'll make DeSantis the same way by what they do in the media.
Yeah, and there you go. You just answered my question. So basically, that's, in other words, no matter who we run in there, whether it's DeSantis or Trump, they're going to do the same thing, regardless of whoever it is. So
absolutely, yeah,
yeah, okay. Well, man, keep up the good work. I appreciate you. Love the show, and again, thank you for your time, ABL.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you. All right, shout out to the caller. But yeah, I think whoever you put in there is gonna have a hard time because of how radicalized the media have become and how radicalized some of the leftist kind of figures have become. That's going to be an issue. 513 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yeah, this is Dustin from Ohio.
All right, man. What's going on?
Not too much, Mr. Logan. First of all, it's a pleasure to talk to you and to finally meet you. I've been listening to you for a very long time, and I'm not a person who ever calls in on these chats. But in regards to a few callers ago, I just want to say that I'm a follower of God. I'm a God-fearing man. You are my brother, and I love you very much. I love all my sisters and brothers around this world. I'm tired. Let me calm down a little bit here. I'm tired of present day people calling themselves Christians and followers of God, and they want to push God onto other people. That's not what religion is about. That's not what God is about. If you want to get a relationship with God, that's up to you. That's not up to a grown adult to tell another adult that they need to have a relationship with God. That's up to you. So on behalf of that caller earlier, I just want to say that I'm sorry that he called and tried to, get you to tell everybody, the world, your opinion, because, there's Christians out here who follow the book, and we don't go around forcing it on people. I just wanted to let you know that, there's still good people out there.
Well, thank you for that, man. It means a lot to me because that was how I was feeling too. It's like this is a personal journey. It's not really a thing for somebody to try to say, well, you got to do this. So I appreciate that. It means a lot to me.
All right. And then if I may just ask you one more quick question here while I got you on the line. Simple question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you trust conservatives going into the midterms if the representative from Georgia, I believe, is able to get Trump into the Speaker of the House? Like, how much do you trust the conservatives, the Republicans, to pass the vote to make him Speaker of the House?
Oh, that's a really good question. I don't know. I say toss up half and half. I don't know. That's a really good question. I think about that one. Yeah.
No, I was just going to say I was speaking to my brother because he follows Fox News a lot for the past couple of years, and he finally stopped watching them. The thing with Hannity the other night that you did a video on, that was his last straw with Fox News. The way that Hannity treated her.
Yeah, that was terrible.
So, yeah, it was terrible. But that's all I wanted to say, man. Just do you, live your life for you. I don't care if you believe or if you don't, or for anybody. I love you regardless. You're my brother, and I wish you the best in life, man. So you take it easy, and I'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Goodbye.
That was a great call. Shout out to you, caller. Thank you, man. Really, really good call. 951, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
My name is Stefan.
All righty, what's going on?
Hi. Well, I was just thinking about. I know they're both alpha males, President 45 and DeSantis, but it's a double punch, and that's what we need. We need the double punch.
Well, you know what? That's a good point. So it's not just like one guy kind of being the leader. You have, you know, two. So that's a really good point.
Yeah. I mean, you know, when we know that they're both alpha males, we can't totally go with the full psychology on that, because what we actually need is a double punch. Now, I know it would be good for one of them to be the Speaker of the House. That's another point. What do you think about that?
Well, as far as Trump is Speaker of the House?
Yeah, right.
Well, I mean, it's a concept I've heard, but I didn't think too much about it. The previous caller asked me about, did he think that he'd be able to get into that position? I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting. I didn't think about that really, but I've seen crazier things happen.
Yeah, politically speaking, the rest of the people that got a Trump problem don't have to be seeing him as much as they may be seeing DeSantis as president, and he could get a lot more done behind the scenes, you see.
Right. Oh, good point. Great point.
Great, yeah. Well, I've been a long time listener. Didn't even think I was going to get through, and I've always enjoyed every time you have all these other guys up on the screen, all talking stuff on stuff. I just wish I could be sure to get the notifications, you know, because I'd be on that like religiously, you know what I mean? Because the aspect of you getting guys that also know the Bible and know the principles of the Bible, mixing that in with all of their opinions actually almost makes it biblical based, which is very, very cool.
Well, that's very interesting. I didn't think about it that way. So I'm glad you're able to get that from it. I'm glad you can enjoy it that way.
Yeah, that's the way I'm going to enjoy it every time. And my only other thing that I keep putting out there on all these different social media things I've never got an answer for is, what can a 67-year-old man that doesn't have the money do to help the whole situation? Should I just search out school board meetings? Or, I don't even got the money to make flyers like I wish I could.
Just whatever you can do. I mean, it doesn't matter how big or small. Whatever you can do. If you can go to a school board meeting, just show a presence. Just be in the place if you can. Whatever you can do, just do that. Don't put pressure on yourself to do more than what you can do, because everybody and every effort matters.
Yeah, the only thing is that waiting for all this stuff happen, I was going to school board meetings, and now I got a whole lot more reason to say a whole lot more, and I'm not one that can shut his mouth up too long, especially in a situation like that.
Hey, well, they might need you because you can speak and you can speak very well, so they might need you to go out there. So, it makes sense to me.
Okay. You have no idea how much encouragement we all out here need as well as you. I know you need the encouragement too, and I'm on that. But we need it out here too.
Right on, man. Absolutely.
Okay. Stefan Moshenko. Oh, I'm a Ukrainian too. I've been crying over the issues about Ukraine, and I know that there's good people in that country, but I also know that we're using Russia to put the screws down on Ukraine. That's why we backed off on helping them, because the president now, if you want to call him that, has some money that he's going to lose if they go down. But they started backing off, and he had to put the pressure on them, and so that's how all this came down. But I'm afraid that my country, my Ukrainian country, is going to be gone forever, with all of the Ukrainians scattered throughout the whole world. My grandparents left the Ukraine when the Germans were breaking into homes and raping women in the Ukraine. So that now we're full circle.
Yeah, it's a really bad situation, but hopefully we get to peace sooner than later.
That's right. Okay, I'll let you go to get some more calls in. Thanks so much for picking it up. If people were long-winded like me, they wouldn't nobody get in.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, shout out to the caller. Good call. Bro, like his energy. You know, very, very good energy. Wait, like 65 years old, something like that? Hey, man, go to a school board meeting. You'll do well. 215 here on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, how's it going?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Yeah.
Hello?
Hey, yeah. Yeah, can you hear me?
Your sound is kind of messed up. Are you on speakerphone?
Oh, okay, man. Hold on. All right, how's that now?
You're better. Caller, I can't hear you at all. I'm sorry.
Okay, hold on. Can you hear me now?
I hear you now. Yes.
All right, cool. Yeah. So basically, here's the thing, ABL. I wanted to ask you this. Give me a split second. Oh yeah. So basically, I watched it with Sean Hannity and Tulsi Gabbard. Basically, with the debate where they saying, like you said, honestly, I ain't gonna lie. I heard you were saying that before, that Ukraine is less likely they're gonna win. But don't you think it's possible the only way they could win the war if Vladimir Putin was to call off his forces?
I mean, why would he do that though?
Yeah, that's the question I have too. Why would he do that? Like, there's got to be. No, I'm not saying there is, but what's going to make him call off his forces though? Like, what would make him call off his forces? Nothing, because basically, like you said, India's still buying oil from him, and there's probably a few other countries that are still buying oil from him. And
Everybody buys oil from Russia except for the U.S. Everybody buys oil from Russia. Europe buys oil from Russia. Europe is talking about they don't like what he's doing, yet they're still fueling it because they're buying their oil. They got to have it. 35% of their natural gas, and Europe is a cold country. I mean, as a cold region of the world, they got to have it.
Yeah, sure. That makes perfect sense what you just said. But yeah, like you said, the only ones that's not buying oil from them is the U.S. But like you said, Europe, they're buying it. They're buying it from everyone. Still buying oil from them. And who else?
Everybody, the whole world. Qatar came out and said that stopping the import of Russian oil is impossible. Everybody buys Russian oil. They're the number 2 exporter in the world, if I'm not mistaken. So how are you going to just get rid of that? That's ridiculous. That's like trying to X out Iran or Iraq or Kuwait. I mean, or Saudi. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, true. So basically, it would be a miracle if they were to win. But I was thinking the same thing. I highly doubt it because they're outnumbered.
I mean,
like you said,
they take Russia for granted, like it's just some kind of small little podunk country. But imagine if the United States were bombing Somalia. Imagine, but we were anyway. Who's going to go to Somalia and try to fight the U.S. or try to be like, hey, you know what? Somalia can beat the U.S. It doesn't make sense. People don't understand that, though. It's just kind of ridiculous. You got the people from Ukraine going on TV asking for planes to help fight. It's like, so you don't have enough to be able to fight back. It's just simple as that.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then what? And I don't know if I told you about this video already, but I don't know if you ever saw it. But have you ever see this one video where Joe Biden basically said, this was a while ago. I think it was like 2008, still recent. He said, basically leaving Afghanistan and Iraq would be doing a withdrawal. It would take a while. It just can't happen overnight.
Yeah, of course. I mean, this was something that everybody knew, but it just didn't get followed appropriately, of course, because you got an incompetent administration, and then you see the disastrous results.
Yep. So basically, he knew the risk, but he still took it anyway. So no matter, and people try to tell me, oh, well, Trump signed this. They have Trump derangement syndrome anyway. They'll still try to find a way to blame Trump. They just won't accept and admit that they were lied to. Like I said, it's a pride thing, from what I've heard.
That's right.
Yeah, well, thanks for taking my call, ABL.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, you too.
All right, shout out to the caller. Good caller. Let's get to a few more here. And let's go. You're on the line. I'm speaking to 817. Yes. Hello, 817.
Yes. This ADL. I mean, I'm sorry. How you doing?
It's all good. How about yourself?
Oh, we're doing good. The family loves you a lot, and no, I was listening to your live stream here, but I guess I'm a little bit delayed on the internet here.
Yes. Please turn that off for me, please.
Yes, it's off right now.
Okay, cool.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just calling up to give you a shout out and appreciate you having an air like this so everybody can come on and put out things that they got on their mind about what things are going on and such and everything else. But I did want to tell everybody, and I'm sure a lot of people know, it seems like everything that MSM, no matter what they say, if they're pointing the finger at somebody, well, then we pretty much well know that that's the person that we need to be believing. Because it seems like everything and everybody they talk about, like the pandemic and we know that mostly everything that they put out is lies. So I'm just saying it's like this. We just need to be careful who we're really pointing the finger at, because we really don't know. There's too much information out there, and I mean, I think we're just need to sit on the sideline, just wait a little bit and just see what happens. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of things they put out there are not true, and then sometimes you get fact checks. A lot of times when you get a fact check, that's because they're trying to obfuscate the truth, trying to hide the truth. So, yeah, I think we just got to kind of wait a little bit and get some real information rather than relying upon what they want to have us believe.
Exactly. Look at the elections. Look what happened there. And then they say there's no fraud or nothing, and we pretty much well know there was. Look what they did with Judge Kavanaugh. Look what they did with this so-called pandemic. I mean, and why is all the world all of a sudden so concerned about Ukraine when they ain't concerned about, or haven't been concerned about nowhere else? I mean, we just, like I say, let's just hang back and just see what happens, because, I mean, I think it's going to be a lot different than what everybody thinks it's going to be.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, I tell you what, thanks for taking my call, and have a good one, and we love you, and you take care.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Bye-bye.
All righty. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. You're on the line. I'm speaking to 917.
Hi. ABL?
Yes, it is. You're on the line right now. What's happening?
Hey, what's going on, ABL? My name is Chris Baker. It's an honor to talk to you, brother. I just have a couple of questions, man. So, first thing about Ukraine. Everybody talks about Ukraine, right? I mean, to be honest with you, this probably could be a whole big illusion, though that war. Have anybody thought about if it benefits the Biden family in some way? I mean, isn't that what they did to Trump? So what do you think about maybe the Biden is actually, they want what's going on to happen in Russia. It's actually what that's what they want. What do you think about that?
I mean, that's possible that it could benefit the family, but I think it's more about, it's a bigger issue with geopolitics that it benefit them. I think it's about NATO and what they want. They want to fight Russia for their own purposes. And Ukraine is just a corrupt place anyway, so the Biden family would benefit regardless, because they already get money with Ukraine. You saw Hunter; he was getting money with Ukraine, so that's already going on.
That makes sense. Now, how about the fact that, I'm going to go a little bit deeper, okay? Because he said yesterday about the food shortage. I mean, I'm pretty surprised that people are not really kind of digging a little bit deeper about that.
About what now?
When there's so he mentioned about the food shortage.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm gonna dig deeper on that too, because think about it. If you know a little bit about, I know you do, ABL, about Marxism and how the structure works. Controlling food is very important to enact a socialistic regime. And I mean, when it is enough to realize that, hey, this is going towards that. You know, they're going after indoctrination, they're in school, they're in the medicine. I mean, when are people gonna wake up? I'm an immigrant, bro. I'm from the Caribbean, you know, and I love this country more than people who live here, and it's shocking because I would fight and die for this country because of the values and freedom. You know?
I'm with you, man. But see, the thing about if there was an actual food shortage here with lines and whatnot, that'd cause civil unrest immediately because people have been, they have been, how can I say this? They've been given food as a right with all the food stamp cards and whatnot. When the EBT cards went down for like half a day, it was already fighting and violence going on for half a day. It wasn't even like 3 hours. It was like 2 or 3 hours. EBT card was down. And you couldn't buy food with food stamps for about 2 or 3 hours. You could buy food with regular money, but just not with the EBT card. It caused like little riots, little episodes of chaos. So imagine if there was an actual food shortage where you couldn't just go to the store and buy what you wanted to eat. That'd cause some serious problems. So I'm not sure how that's going to work out. And I don't think that'd be something that you could use to bring in some kind of martial law or socialism because of the way society is, in my opinion.
Well, he said to expect it in the spring. It's coming, right? Now think about this. What does the farmers in the U.S., they use a lot of those, I think, what's it called again? Apparently this is what they are seeing, that it's gonna, because of Russia, it's gonna cost a food shortage. Again, the Russians, because of Russia, right? Now, all I know is food shortage ain't no joke. Like, I come from countries where we had that before, and it collapses society, man. Like you said, people will go crazy, dude. And I'm just weirded out that the president said that. Like, you know, I mean, I want to call him the president, but I'm sorry, I don't want to curse. That guy is not a president. Y'all know. Hey, he's told that. But that's something else. I'm sorry, bro. Don't want to get your pants.
No, man. But that food shortage, but that food is real though. When you don't have no food, it's a really, you know, it's a terrible thing.
Yeah, it's dangerous. It's dangerous. I think if it's not something that's gonna happen, it's dangerous to talk about it because it's the same thing as it's fear mongering. You know, like, should we stock up? You know, what do you mean food shortage? You know, like, am I gonna go to Walmart and there ain't gonna be hot dogs, or you mean you're gonna go to Walmart and you're gonna be nuts? You know. I don't want to take too much of the time, bro. I appreciate you, man. I've been watching you for a long time. You with Brandon Tatum. Like, you all guys got me off the plantation. I came here to this country, all Democrat, all kinds of stuff. And then I want to do a shout out to Rush Limbaugh, too, man. That guy opened my eyes, brother. May he rest in peace, and love you guys, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you, ABL.
Good call. Yeah, that food shortage, yeah, that's no joke. But a food shortage here, man, that would be a serious problem. We don't want that kind of smoke, as a cool kid say. 773, you're on the line. I'm speaking to.
Hey, ABL. Okay, ABL. Quick question: Have you heard about that tweet from Scott? But something about bringing back the draft because of the Ukraine conflict going on.
It was a tweet from
who
now?
I thought was abolished after the Vietnam War.
Well, they have selective service, so I'm not sure how that really works. If they could activate it, I don't know. But yeah, I don't think they're going to do that.
Okay, well, if you do come across the tweet, let me know what you think about it pretty seriously, because pretty much from what I gather from people who've reported on it is that the tweet pretty much says that they're going to be drafting our boys to fight in the Ukraine conflict, and the ones to refuse be thrown into the gulag like they've been doing to our January 6th protesters.
Now, who was the tweet from?
I forgot which department was from.
It was from the government?
Department of Defense. Huh?
It was from the government, U.S. government?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah. Nah, I've not seen that one.
I forgot which department it was.
Because if we go to Ukraine, then that's a hot war. That's World War III. So I don't really see that one happening. But I got to look at this. I got to find that tweet.
Mm-hmm. And pretty much, I'm actually far more livid about that because there's a lot of people who oppose this war and don't think we should be involved in it. But people on Twitter, and especially on the far left, want to be in this conflict just because they hate Putin, even though they know nothing about Ukraine's corruption or Obama's dealings.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So I can ask to all those pro-blacks and people who fought against the Vietnam War in the 60s, where's you guys' spirit now with your hero Muhammad Ali, who vehemently opposed being drafted?
Well, I mean,
and pretty much that quote he used is pretty much fitting for the situation. You're my enemy when I want freedom. You're my enemy when I want justice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, hey, ABL. First off, have you seen that Trump rally today?
No, I haven't seen it because I was on the show, so I haven't seen it.
Well, if you guys have a chance, try taking a look at Trump's speech because I kind of missed it, but I do know Uber guy was there, and pretty much the live show was on Facebook because for some reason YouTube's been kind of censoring that particular channel that's been holding a lot of the Trump rallies.
Are you talking about Right Side Broadcasting?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, we have a good evening, and when you do see the tweets, please let me know what your critical thoughts on it are.
Right on, man. Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Hey, bye.
All right. Shout out represent 10,000 for the call. And thank you all again for being here. Couldn't do it without y'all. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video. You all got good stuff. Let's go to the next one. Now I'm going to know you don't know who I'm speaking to.
Hello.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All righty, what's happening?
Hey, man, I just want to give my little 2 cents worth. I just feel like when the first day Biden got into office was to fight Trump. That's what this administration has done, right to start with. Killed the Keystone Pipeline and everything that made America independent and energy independent. We've killed and turned on Russia. And, man, it just makes no sense whatsoever. And I just wanted to put that in there and let you know I appreciate you, man. I love your show.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Same to you. All right. Shout out to the caller. Let's go to the next one here. All right. I had one right there. I'm gonna try to scoop that one. Then that might be it if I get this last one right here. And then I'm gonna wrap it on up, put the bow on top. Thank y'all again. Couldn't do the show without y'all. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. All right, I'm reading some of the comments right here till I get the next call, and then I got to roll out. Food stamp crash 2022. Hey, man, let the food stamps not work. Not even just having the food shortage. That'd be worse, obviously, but just a preview of a food shortage would be the food stamp card not working for like a day. One day without the food stamp card. You should be able to have food that you should be able to go a day without eating. If you don't have any food in the house, no food and you need the food stamp card, you should be able to go one day without eating. But one day will cause problems. One day without the food stamp card, let alone not having actual items on the shelf. Yeah. And if they are talking about the food shortage being caused by their own sanctions on Russia as self-inflicted. So at a certain point, it's like if somebody is going hungry because of what Joe Biden has done specifically, it's like, well, what are we doing here? What is the actual purpose? 718 on the line, who am I speaking to?
Hi, it's Hallie again from Brooklyn. Hi. I just want a question, maybe it's a little morbid, but do you think that Zelensky might end up taking his life if it got to the point where really, defeat was imminent or something? I mean, I don't know what to believe with the media, like who's winning or what's, apparently the Russians now bombing Lviv, but do you foresee that kind of a thing possibly?
Nah, from what I hear, he's a multimillionaire and he's loaded, so he'll go to his yacht somewhere and off in Miami, he'll be fine. He's not like, this ain't like, Germany and all of that. He'll go live a charmed life. He won't take his life. I don't think so.
I mean, that'd be ironic then. I mean, just led that country to total devastation here. I mean, I don't want to say the Ukrainians are being played. I mean, I have sympathy for them. I feel like there are no real good guys in this thing, but I just wondered if that was, I don't know if they'll let him live. I mean, that would be a possibility, but I mean, they talk about trying Putin for war crimes, but I don't think that, I can't imagine that happening. Do you foresee that or anything?
How they going to get him? Are they going to try to take him from Russia? That's not going to work.
True.
So.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, it was just my 2 cents. I was just wondering your opinion. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I enjoy your show, and better, good night, everybody.
Thanks for the call.
Okay. Thanks. Bye.
All right. Shout out to you guys for calling in. I think that'll be a wrap. You guys are fantastic. Couldn't do it without y'all, but that'll be a wrap for the calls. If you couldn't get on tonight, I'm sorry, it's not my fault. Please blame the white man. Please blame Skype, but don't blame me. And I'll be back live again, of course, on Wednesday with the live show. Back on Monday with pre-recorded videos. I try to get out 2 a day, unless it's kind of a slow news day. I ain't going to, just push the content out there just because I want to push it out there. But I'll be back live again on Wednesday. And thank you to everybody that came to the Tatum show yesterday. Now, pardon me, that was on Thursday. So thank y'all for coming out to that show. That was a good show. Really, really good show. And we'll probably do it again next week if he's here. I think the week after that, we got the Blexit rally in Tampa, Florida. So April the 9th, I'll be in Tampa. I'll just be in the mix. I'm not going to be on stage speaking. I'll just be in the mix. You'll see me. If you go to the Tampa Blexit rally on April the 9th, I will be there. You'll see me. You can't miss me. I'm a tall black dude. You know what I mean? You're going to be able to see me. I try to stay low sometimes when I'm around, when I'm out, but I can't. I'm too big. So you'll see me. But again, Tampa Blexit rally April 9th. Live show Wednesday and Saturday right here on this channel. And if Tatum does his stream next week on Thursday, I'll be there as well. All right. But whenever there's a Tatum stream, it's on Thursday, and I'm on it. All right. So we got super chats on deck, and then I'm going to wrap it on up, put the bow on the top. Oh, and shout out to Savvy and Amala for being on the show with us on this past Thursday. It was a really good show. Santo says there'll be other tall black dudes. I'm the tallest. I'm not the tallest, but I stand out. That's all. All right. Shout out to. Okay, where are we gonna go here? I gotta find out where I left off to read those. And where was I at? Okay, thank you to Kaius Parchments, who says lots of cartel members, ex-military police. I already read that one. Thank you to Laura VF, I think it's the only one I got right here. Laura VF says, Officer Tatum just dropped a video of pics from Hunter's laptop. Uh-oh. At 6:18, a caption of pic reads, Hunter in bed with child. Please watch him respond, ABL. Thanks. Yeah, I think I did see, I saw a blurred image of that particular one. Yes, you see what I'm saying? It was some little kid in the bed with him. So this dude, Hunter, I mean, the laptop is completely just disturbing. If you've seen that laptop, you know that anything on it would get anybody else sent straight to the penitentiary. I'm talking about to the who's good, to the pokey, all that bad stuff, not good stuff, bad stuff. So yeah, you definitely don't want to have Hunter Biden's laptop in your presence. I see why the repair shop guy caught the federales, because look at what's on it. I mean, the things that are on it are illegal. And then on top of that, you have a bunch of like sensitive information, things that shouldn't be out there to the general public. So of course she's going to get that to the federales. I don't want to have that at my house or at my repair shop. I ain't trying to get caught with that. They're going to raid me. You be like, oh, that's yours. No, it's not mine. That's his. Get him. All right. But that'll be a wrap for me. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out, and peace.